Yo, salute. Nick's Real Talk, man. Divine. About to get out my grind, hop in the Black Knight. About to make it happen, man. Nick's Real Talk. We all over the place. About to get it popping. Divine Bronx Jedi 7-6. The night show, the morning show. Nick's Real Talk, man. About to get in the Black Knight.
Nick's Real Talk. Let's get it popping. We hopping like topping in the Jumpman brand. Ain't no stopping. Divine and Bronx Jedi 7-6. We lit from Facebook, Twitter to Twitch, and all that shit. We number uno with the promo that blow like nitro. Now the streets are buzzing, so we flow with the night show. So spike them lights below. That thumbs up, run them up, and you double up. Cause it's Nick's Real Talk, and we on the come up. We'll salute to the cats in the chat. That's where it's at. Now you place the chats. When I paste that under space where our faces at. We lace these cats with news, notes, stats. Game recap, no hyperbole, we straight facts. In fact, we say it lit like a candle throughout the handle on the panel. We violent, so subscribe to the channel. Nick's Real Talk. Nick's Real Talk.
Yeah, man. Salute. Good evening, everybody. Nick's Real Talk. Divine, Bronx Sports Jedi. We in the building, man. About to get into this Nick Talk, man. Couple of things going on over the week, so we're gonna get into all that. But salute to everybody out there. Chime in, get ready to check out the show. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, whatever you chiming in from. I hope y'all having a great Sunday. Your day went well, you're home, chilling, or you're here with us. About to get into this Nick Talk. Yeah, man, beautiful day, raining up and down the coast. It was good, man. It feels good down where I'm at. But we're gonna get into it, man. I got my partner in crime, Bronx Sports Jedi. We here, man. We about to get it popping, man. Salute, BX.
Hey, what's going on? Salute Divine. Salute everyone out. Salute to everyone out there. Salute to Sin Smith, Johnny Timon, Tony Crow, everyone on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all the different platforms. Man, it was good to talk to you on this beautiful Sunday evening. Although it's about to come rain, cats and dogs down here in Orlando, Florida. You got the thunder, lightning coming in. So, but hey, we need the rain, and rain is always good. So I'm glad to be here with you, Divine. Let's get to it, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're gonna get into some Nick talk, some trade talk first and foremost. And that I did when we started the show, man. R.I.P. to Biz Markie, man. Rest in power, man. Rest in peace, my brother. One of the pioneers of the game, man. Salute to him, man. 57 years old, he passed away the other day. So salute to Biz Markie and their family and everybody out there, man. Yeah, man, it's all good, man. I'm ready to get it popping. Sunday, traveled on vacation, man. Got back, so I'm here, man. Ready to get into it with all the fellas, man, and all the ladies. So if you're in here, man, salute to everybody out there. Let's get it popping. We're gonna get into this Nick Talk. And real quick before we jump into the Nick Talk, guys, let me go over to yesterday's results. The NBA, Milwaukee Bucks went into Phoenix yesterday and handled their business. Beat them 123-119. Now they got a 3-2 lead in the series going back to Milwaukee. Look like Giannis and them might be able to close this thing out. He get his first, deny Chris Paul his first ever championship, and he might get his first. So we'll see how that go Tuesday night, man. So y'all check that game out. But first and foremost, man, we here with the Knicks talk, man. You know what it is. Let's get into it, man. I was checking out some things BX over the last couple of days. You had the Damian Lillard thing and a lot of things like that, man. So everybody's gonna chime in on that. We had some other things out there, man. But Damian Lillard and Colin Sexton and all that. We're gonna get into that, man. To everybody hopping in, man. That's what's up. Yeah, man, but they had Damian Lillard had a press interview after the report came out that he's looking to go to the Knicks and other places. So I guess he after one of the practices he went there and addressed that situation, saying that that's not true, but he haven't thought about the future, blah blah blah, whatever the case may be. So that's out there, man. And Damian Lillard is a superstar in the league, talented young man, got great game, command a lot right now, because he got a big salary, but he's earning it. So in Portland, with them firing Terry Stouts and things of that nature, I guess they wanted Damian Lillard going to move and go somewhere else. Reports out there, Knicks, maybe Lakers, things of that nature. BX. So we'll see how that go. But we're gonna get into that for him coming to the Knicks. Things of that nature. So we had to see what that Colin Sexton was the big thing out there this week as well. I like Colin Sexton, for that situation as well. So we're gonna get into both of them, BX, and see what the chat think, what the people out there think that Damian Lillard or Colin Sexton or whoever the case may be else come down there. But the two big names that was out there this weekend, BX, was Colin Sexton and Damian Lillard to the Knicks. Possible.
Sexton, I can see. I'm not even gonna bother entertaining the Lillard issue because he already came out and said he has no thoughts, no influence. He was very there was a lot of uncertainty in his demeanor and his body language that he has not asked for a trade, nor does he want it. Now things could change, Divine. He could say he don't want to go, but could the organization say, I think it's best for us in our organization wise for you to move? Now that's going to open up another Pandora's box. This is where it gets tricky. It's like a boomerang, Divine.
Yeah.
That he says he's not going anywhere. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He's expressed his feeling, but the Portland Trailblazer says, you know what? I don't think it's, I think we need to move you. I think we need to get value because I think we're a ways away and we don't want to waste your talent or your time here. And I think that's where the Knicks and all the other teams in the NBA comes in with the trade speculation. So yes, I don't want to say that it's not over or it's not going to happen or it's a moot point because Portland might want to move him. Literally gets $50 million in a couple of years. It's too much for a guy in his mid-30s. He's 31 now. Tim Smith, I totally agree with you. I am totally on board with that one. I want to get younger. I like Colin Sexton if that's the case to if I have to pick either or the two, that's the way I would love to see them go. And also there's also, other players out there, other free agent point guards that we could go for. But Damian Lillard, I think, we spoke on this in fruition and if Portland says he's trading him, would you as a Knicks front office try to hold off? And of course, you're going to say, I think you agree with me on that. I think if I'm the Knicks, I won't want to give up hardly nothing. I'll try to be as cheap as possible, just money and maybe a couple of first rounds. Not too many players of importance. I'm the Knicks. I'm the one you're playing. You're going to be playing in my court. I'm not playing in Portland's court. What do you think on that, Divine?
Yeah. You absolutely got to make it work for you because they don't want if they looking to move or they looking to move, then we are in the driver's seat. So I love Damian Lillard guys, and then it's just that I'm just concerned about how much of the roster we got a gut to get them. You know what I mean? And we might have to give up a major piece, which is probably RJ, and with maybe a ton of picks, and I don't how they're gonna make the financials work, but I don't know, man. I love Damian Lillard. I think the man is the truth. You know what I mean? I'm just concerned. Is it the right time for the Knicks? A lot of people might say, yeah, we need a superstar there. I get it. So, a lot of people who watch us go through what we went through for the last, 8 years, they probably ready for that, man. We need this guy, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, do we keep building this thing? We got a lot of cap space. We got a lot of flexibility. We got talent. Do we go up to somebody like Sexton and, without having to give up RJ, you know what I mean? And give up maybe pieces that we would have to give up in a Lillard trade. So that's what's interesting to me, man, is, I love Damian Lillard's game, and I know they'll come play with him in New York. I'm just concerned at how much we're going to have left to build around this guy. You know what I mean? Where does that put us? If you bring Damian Lillard to New York this year and we got to give up a ton of assets to get him, how far do you think the Knicks going to go? You know what I mean? That's my concern because I don't know what they're going to add or what they can add. The guys in the chat can tell us what's going on with that. You know what I mean? They got a sense of that. So we'll see, man. But I do like the Colin Sexton thing. I think that's attractive. I mean, we haven't had a guard in a while could do what he do. You know what I mean? In New York, and that's been almost a minute. You know what I mean? Since Derrick Rose first got here in the first round, the first time he came to New York. But we haven't had a guard like Colin Sexton. Think about it. You look over the last 6, 7 years, 8 years. We ain't had nobody like that, man. You know what I mean? So, it makes a big difference having a talent there like that. You know what I mean? And we'll see. We'll see how the ball go. But that's interesting, man, because the way it is right now and the way the landscape is shaping up to me, he makes the perfect sense for the Knicks from a cap space perspective, from a pick perspective. You got to give up way less. You got less time on a deal right now until you extend them. But if he's worthy of it, then you extend him. You don't think he's worthy of it when it's time for that extension to come, then you deal him. You deal him. You say, okay, you know what? I don't think we're gonna sign you to the mat, but we're gonna put you in a trade, sign a trade, whatever the case may be. So, and if he work out, if Colin Sexton work out and he's the answer, then you sign him. You know what I mean? So I think it's a good option to have. And we're CBX, but I definitely like the Colin Sexton thing. And I like I said, I love Damian Lillard, but I'm just not sure of the price tag. And if that's gonna, unless they can make something happen that I'm not thinking about, the front office like Brock Aller and all these guys and Leon Rose, the Worldwide West, Perry, Perry the GM, they know how to wheel and deal. Unless they got something behind the scene that I'm not aware of, but they can make it happen. They make it happen, but I wouldn't want to see it. I would like Colin Sexton, man, and build that way. You know what I mean? For me.
Yeah, I agree. I want to first quickly say salute to Robert Parr, to G Money, Sin Mears, Will. I see you there in the chat. I see 19 comment, my main man. What's going on? Salute to everybody, man. Thanks for being here with this on this beautiful Sunday, and I appreciate you guys here with me. You know, I see everyone's buzzing about the NBA Finals too. But right now we're with the Damian Lillard situation, the Colin Sexton. We gotta like Sexton a little more better because it's not gonna take too much asset to it. Because we kind of a little bit stingy as a Nick fan, and we don't want to give up players. We want to hold on. And salute to D-Ross, to see you there too. Thanks for coming aboard. Thank you so much. And yeah, I definitely want to see them hold on to keep as much players as possible. But also, I know you got to give something to get something. So we got to see. Let's not underestimate the power of the front office. There's a little bit of a Star Wars reference there, guys. So yeah, so we'll see if they if they could do their little Jedi mind trick and get these players in here, guys. So we'll see. Well, it'll be an interesting off season. Free agency is it comes quick. August 3rd is the first day of the trades and all that you could talk to, and we don't know the draft is coming up in a couple, about a week and a half to 2 weeks. It's going to be a lot of movement and a lot of things. A lot of people are kicking tires and breaking different rumors and trades. For a fact, Divine, I broke it on For the Love of the Game. That Jonathan Isaac by the Orlando Magic, they're not saying they're going to trade him. They're going to field offers for Jonathan Isaac to see what's available, what's his value, what's the league around him think of him as a player that's coming back from a major injury, to see what it is. Oh, that's Dave Jackson, aka Dave Jackson. Salute, my main man. All right, that's good to see you here. So yeah, so Jonathan Isaac is a possibility. Just some feelers. I think Orlando Magic, what I was told, they're just picking up feelers to see, because if they see something that he might be moved in the trading deadline next off season, next the NBA trading deadline. But they're gonna put feelers out there, and it's gonna be interesting because you're gonna start hearing a lot of different names out there, a lot of different players that are gonna be thrown out there, and of course the darling of the NBA trading and off season is Damian Lillard, and we're gonna see how that goes going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's the big fish out there right now for us trade and all that stuff, man. So we're gonna see. We're gonna keep our ears to the ground, man. And then we're gonna see what the Knicks are doing, and see if they're gonna make that move. But I'm almost for sure that I don't think Damian Lillard going nowhere. Like I told you guys in a couple of streams ago, just because you lost a coach, that might be what he wanted. He might have wanted something different now that he got Chauncey Billups in there. It might, they still got C.J. McCullough. They still got that whole team there. If they get what's his name, he get back from injury, the Collins. You know what I'm saying? They get the big boy back and make a couple of changes. They got a good team. They just got to get a defense-minded coach. I think they need a defensive-minded assistant coach there. Their problem is defense. So we'll see. But I'm like, I do love the Colin Sexton thing. I have no problem with that, bro. I think guys with that dog mentality, they know how to play in the bright lights of New York. Everybody can't play here. It's not for everybody. And I think he had the mentality. He got the build. He got the mindset. I think Colin Sexton will thrive in the Big Apple at Madison Square Garden, man. And I agree with you, D-Rob, aka Dave. That's a lot of stuff to shut off with Damian Lillard. That's just a lot. It'd be different. We was closer to a title. Then you say, okay, we already but I don't think we need to go that route. I think I like the Sexton and deals like that. I just think that he fits the timeline. The guy put up 24 points a game this year. That you add that with Randall and RJ Barrett, that's a nice little core right there. Then you add all the other pieces around it. You still got the guys you drafted in here. You still got Mitchell Robinson, and you got capital. You go and get that three you need, and re-sign, maybe, like I said, re-sign Reggie Bullock, move him to the back, to the 3-roll and off the bench, and with quickly, and you can even bring Derrick Rose back. So, if you don't bring Derrick Rose back, then you think that Luka Valdoza would be a great backup, then you roll with that too. So it's a good option to have, for sure. But a salute to the chat, man. Everybody up in there, man. Keep it up, thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Y'all on fire with the chat, so it's hard to keep up with y'all today. But salute to y'all, man. And everybody out there, chiming in on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, wherever you at, man. So we appreciate y'all coming on Knicks Real Talk tonight. And we just want to get it popping up here. Yeah, man. But, other trades that's out there, I mean, it's hard to say. They got the free agent situation is interesting, though, because, we got the Duncan Robinson situation there. People was talking about that all through the week. I had my eyes buzzed on Kelly Oubre. I think that's a good fit here, and things of that nature. So, and real quick before I get into that, let me chime back off what you said, BS. But that Jonathan Isaac thing would be very interesting. I really do. I think Jonathan Isaac would be very interesting in New York if that was a reality. Local kid, Florida State, got game. He signed to 80 mil. He got injured, but I think that's awesome. Loma Powell, likewise, Tensive, I see that as well. So it's a lot of interesting stuff out there. We're going to keep it going out there. But yeah, as far as the free agency situation, I like Norman Powell as well. I agree with you on that. I think him, Kelly Oubre, I like them guys. To me, fit the bill down here. Duncan Robinson, I don't know how much that's going to cost us. BX, that might be a little bit expensive. I don't know, just for a shooter. Where I think we can get a shooter anywhere. If I'm going to spend 20-something million more, that's my opinion, guys. I want a two-way dude. I want a dude who can shoot and get to the rack, not just jump shots. You got to be able to get to the hole. And that was our Achilles heel against the Atlanta Hawks. Once we had nobody can get to that hole, once a jump shot stop falling, we fail. So if we're gonna spend money, man, we got to get some all-around cats who can penetrate, shoot in and out. Got an inside-outside game, hit me from every angle. Other than that, then Duncan Robinson, that's cool.
Chris.
Chris, salute. Queens Court in the building. Salute Queens Court, we see you. Yeah, man, and that would be my take on that. I like Kelly Oubre, depending on what he's gonna cost, but I like his hunger, what he's trying to get now, get done. Duncan Robinson, yeah, that's iffy. I've fought the Kawhi Leonards and the big fishes. I don't even think we're going that route. But who do you think is out there that impress you that you like to see come here? You got Lonzo Ball. I know we talked about that. People like that. Give me some names in your that you're thinking about.
Well, let me go back to the other I think the Orlando Magic person that I know told me that there is in fact a deal out there with the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're not gonna with the Timberwolves and the Magic's for Isaac. It's not there. It's a feeler. They're like trying to get negotiation back and forth. So the Timberwolves is like if he were to get traded, which is they say they're going to probably hold on pat to it. I don't think they want to see if they take Jonathan. If you take Jonathan Isaac, they want you to take Terrence Ross contract with it. So I'm like, hello, Scott Perry, get your butt and call your friends down here in the Magic organization, and those are two players that you could bring on the Knicks immediately that could fit on what we're doing, what we need, and that's let's get the I's, dot the T's, and see what we need to get to. But they say it's just a feeler, but the Minnesota thing is really good. They just want to go around and then shop it around the league and see what else if they can see they could get something better than what Minnesota's talking about. So who knows with that there. With all this, back to the New York Knicks organization, with all this talk of Damian Lillard, Colin Sexton, so forth, makes me believe that 75% of the Knicks' effort is going for Lonzo Ball as a point guard because it's too quiet. It's too quiet. The Knicks have been quiet. At least this organization with Leon Rose and Rory West and everyone else upon there, they've been quiet. We heard them around the trading deadline. We heard it around all season. Nothing leaks out. So it makes me believe that I think that when time comes, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Lonzo Ball being the New York point guard out of everybody that's been rumored to them. Because it's too. That's just me. That's just me looking at how revisionist short is. Granted, it's short revisionist history, but I think it's Alonzo. I think it is going to be Alonzo because it's just right now so quiet, Divine, that I'm like, man, it's when it's too quiet. It's like when you have a child as a parent and your children are in another room and they're too quiet, and you're like, man, what are they doing? And they're too quiet. It's too good to be true. When you see they got crayons all over the wall, whatever the case is, and it's just a funny analogy that I'd like to bring out there. But I think that when it's too quiet, something is brewing behind the scenes, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they don't leak a lot of stuff from New York, man. A lot of the stuff you hear is a lot of tabloid hunting and all that stuff, man. So I could see it. possible. You know what I mean? I really do. But like I said before, I knew that like the Dame talk. I know that just was talk, man. I mean, they get you riled up with that stuff, but that ain't happening. You know. And if it happened, then listen. It's all good. It happens, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, Lonzo is interesting, man. It really is. It really is interesting. And it's hard for us to put a stamp on anything. Their Knicks are keep everything sealed tight. You know what I mean? They're like a Ziploc bag right now. They're keeping everything airtight. They not letting nothing get out. I mean, there is some little bits and pieces there where it comes from. When you hear the Ian Begleys of the world and all them guys. Them some of the guys that you got a chance to have come from somebody because they that tight, close to what is going on there. But to me, I think it's going to be somebody. I do think the College Sexton thing. I can see that being legit. I never thought the Damian Lillard thing was legit. I was like, that's Nick talk right there. But you know what, Lonzo interesting. Yeah, that Lonzo is very interesting. You know what I mean? Because he could do some wonders here too. You know what I mean? He might have to see what he did to see what New Orleans gonna do. Because now that's what's so interesting with that New Orleans situation. You don't know if they're gonna bring him back. You know what I mean? But I don't think so because they got to sign Zion. They think they're gonna keep him. In a couple of years. You can't tie up too much when you got Brandon Ingram on the max. You have Lonzo getting his money. Then if you think Lonzo and Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson going to be your core, then they might sign him. But I don't see that happening. Not with the way New Orleans situation is out there. So
I'm glad you mentioned Zion Williamson. You see a lot of rumors and reports. Boston is trying to see what it takes to get Zion Williamson to Boston. Talking to New Orleans. So be careful. We need to keep an eye open and ears wide open and eyes to that situation. If the minute Zion Williamson says he doesn't no longer want to be in Boston, in New Orleans, that will the Boston Celtics open up and run quickly to the Pelicans to try to get and bring in Zion Williamson. Remember, Boston has a bunch of picks that Danny Ainge harvested and hoarded and didn't moved around, and they want to try a different movement. Can I see that possibly happening? I don't see it happen this year, Divine. But if there's already being smoke to the rumor, and there's a little bit of a smoke, man, be careful that it might catch fire. So I've seen that not just in one different media outlet, but in a different other location. So it'd be really, really funny to see that. And 19 comment, I've been saying that, man. Get me Cam Reddish, get me Zion, RJ Barrett. Let's go. Let's get it going in the Garden. I know my main man Divine is a Tar Heel fan. You don't want to see those Dookies in here, but I have no association to the Tar Heels or the Dukes. I just want to see those three guys because they know each other, play well, and do it in the next level. That's my opinion.
Yeah. The Cam Richardson, that's nice, but them cats ain't winning in college, so I don't know if they're gonna win in the pros either. So they ain't winning in college, so I don't know if they're gonna win here. But that's some nice talented players though. But you know what? It'll be hard for me to with the Zion thing because we get a lot of talk about a lot of these guys. But do you think they're willing to leave all that money on the table though? Zion be leaving a bigger extension with his team because they can give him 5 years opposed to 4. That's why the only place I can see it. Cole Harley might work more than anywhere in New York because of the marketing capability. I think he can make that money back in New York. You know what I mean? Going to a lot of these other places, and you might get it in Boston, but it's nothing like playing in the world most famous arena in New York City. But I don't know if you're going to leave a max extension on the table, 75, 80 million, just to say I want to go somewhere else. I don't know. You know what I mean? But if he do, let it be New York City.
Ooh, lightning, baby, lightning in the background. Is that Thor?
Yeah, right. Yeah, he bringing that power like Nick's Real Talk. Yeah, man. But salute to everybody. 19 Con, D. Ross, Chris Woodward, Queens Court is in the building. 19 Con, man, always checking in. My man, what's up? Gideon, G Money, aka y'all Tim Smith. Everybody, man, salute. Thank y'all for chiming in, man. Nick's Real Talk. Will, we see you, my brother. Will, you know what it is. We ain't here, man. We in a Sunday night, man. Cut it up. Nick's Real Talk. Yeah, man. But for what's going on right there now, I'm more tuned in. I think the biggest thing I'm tuned into the College Sexton thing in the draft. What we're gonna do with these picks. It's a lot of people out there talking about who gonna sign Oladipo. If they're gonna do this, or if they're gonna take smaller money. I've been reading all this stuff on a lot of the platforms out there in the streams, and like Bleach Report, I heard that out there. He might come cheap. Nobody doesn't tell, but I don't know. That injury history scaring everybody, so I don't think that's where he's gonna have to take a low deal. Depending on what Indiana gonna do out there, they got a new coach, Rick Carlisle. Washington's hired Wes Unseld Jr. So what does that mean for Bradley Beal and Westbrook? Are they gonna be comfortable playing with a newer coach or and all that? A lot wide piece of the guard, peace. Yeah, man, it's gonna how's that gonna affect Washington? You think do Bill and them gonna stay there with Unseld Jr. and Westbrook and try to get this thing going, or I don't know. That's an interesting thing to see, man. So in the next thing you know, Chicago situation is gonna be interesting. Let me ask you a question, BX, in the chat. If you go for Colin Sexton, right, and you let's say hypothetically, guys, you wind up giving up Obi, right, because you had to throw him in the deal. Okay. Do you see if you can get Laurie marketing on a you ain't gonna give him a lot of money, but do you think now that you got to get Obi out of here that you maybe could swing for Laurie marketing at the backup 4 behind Randall, stretch big and shoot the J, size, you know what I mean? So that's interesting to me, man.
What are your annual budget on him? What do you my question to you is what do you see the Knicks pay for him and 1 or 2 year deal? What's the contract? Depends. That's what. Yeah.
If he go for a 2 or 3 year deal and the Knicks said we'll give you 2 plus a team option, I'll go to 15, 17 because it's either that or give him a 4 year like 80 million. But I don't have a problem with it like a 3 year with a team option, maybe 15 to 17 range, put it like that. And if you want more than that, then he can kick rocks.
Now I'm gonna piggyback that one. If you had a chance, marketing or Kenny Olynyk, and I'm gonna piggyback off of 19 Con Man. That's why I love the chat because they come up with these good analogies that we could just bring up, and that's why we read everyone's chat here on the program. And because we are an audience participation program that we love having you guys participate because you guys help us make the show. So between Olynyk or your guy marketing, man, they both are different style of players, but they both got height and length. That's a real good debate there too.
It is. I think Olynyk to me is a little bit more. He got that it in him more than marketing to me. He done played with Miami. He done played as an organization with some tough cats. He's been around the league for a while. Played down in Boston for years. So you know what I mean. He's for the right money. Yeah, I like Olynyk. I really do. I think Miami. I think they missed him when they got rid of him in that trade for Oladipo. I think they missed him. I mean,
what if I tell you this? If we get Olynyk at $12 million for per year deal, you bring him in here, $12 million, and then you on a prove it deal for 6 and a team option, $6 million on a team option for Victor Oladipo. Now that you got 2 players under $20 million, do you think it'll fit?
I think so. I definitely think Olynyk. I think he can stretch that floor, bro. He can stretch the floor. He can shoot. He a rebounder. He got a little toughness to him. You know what I mean? And I do like that because he does have a little toughness to him. He can shoot that trade ball. He gritty. He played down in Miami with Jimmy Butler and Bam out of Byron on one guy. So like I said, he got a little. You got to be because that Miami coach is almost the same as the Knicks coach. You know what I mean? And they had that same mentality when it comes to play. You got to have a little bit of grit and grind to you. And I think he has that. So yeah, that would be interesting. You know what I mean? It really would. You know what I mean? Like I said, if we move Obi and that Colin Sexton deal, and you get to pull off a deal like that without using cap space like that,
right?
That's what it do, BX.
You know what? I have to see what Olynyk's contract is to begin with because I'm saying $12 million, but I might be under.
He higher than that right now.
Okay. My apology. I didn't know. I thought I didn't think he was going to command.
Now, I don't know if that's expiring or not because I know his contract would due up pretty soon. You know what I mean? So,
one thing that is positive going this free agent period, guys, in my opinion, is that not all the teams are going to with free agency money availability to spend on the cap. I don't think they're going to give a lot of players this offseason the bag because next offseason is when it's the cream of the crop. And everybody's going to try to hold and save as much money as possible. I know everyone you're obligated. You're supposed to spend amount of money on your cap anyway, but not to give out anything that's going to hinder them to trying to be in play for the big marquee free agents coming next offseason. So that's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, I can see Kenny Olynyk going to Boston back there again because he did have good times there, and he had good rapport there, with the organization and all that. So that could be, yeah, his salary is $12 million. I was correct. His salary last year in 2021 was 12.2 million. So if you could offer him, okay, let's say 15, and if you get $21 million for two players between Olynyk and you bring it, you give that the way we brought Reggie Bullock in, the first time around, that he had to prove it, he had to nurse him a little bit, and it panned off year 2 to 3, with Victor Oladipo to see what it is. You do 1 year and with options, and if he doesn't see any growth or any back return to form, you let him go next season, and you bring that money back towards next season off season. That's just a train of thought on that one there, guys.
Yeah. Salute to my man Frank Mattos. You know what it is,
Frank.
brother. Salute. Yeah, man. It's not a bad idea having somebody like Kelly Olynyk who got playoff experience. He's been around there. I brought that Larry marketing thing up because I think with the mergers of Patrick Williams and Vucevic now, I don't know if they're gonna bring him back. I think they probably gonna. They know it was interesting. They didn't trade him, so they didn't get nothing for him. So I'm not sure, depending on what they might what he might offer Chicago to keep him. You know what I mean? But it's not. I think that's another guy, that might be willed and deal before he hit that, before he become a restricted free agent. I don't think you can trade him in that sense. But so we had to see how it goes, man. I'm with the Kelly Oubre thing, man. I think that he got something to prove. I like his size, I like his length, I like his athleticism. I like, every year he got better in his league. You still got to think about what the Charlotte gonna do, the Terry Rozier thing. You know what I mean? You got to, that's out there. Devontae Graham, it's a lot of interesting scenarios out there, man. And I agree with you, Chris. Victor Oladipo is so injury prone. That's one dude that I wanted. I liked his game. I even liked him at the deadline, but when he got hurt, I'm like, you know what? That kind of took me out of that sailing a little bit. And I love Oladipo, but like you say, Chris, the brother stay injured too much, man. I mean, we can't ship it.
That's why the point is with the Oladipo injury prone. I know that. That's why we're not going to give him a lot of money. You give him a low contract with options to get out of it. You give him a 2-year deal with 1 year guaranteed. The next year it's either a player or team option, whichever way you want to go with it. And then, if you make it a player's option, because if even if he's not ready or he gets back to shape, and let's say he does click and he gets let's say he plays 65 games for the Knicks, and he gives us 16, 17 points a game, in that short time, he's going to want to opt out anyway to try to get more money. So you let him go, and you got money for the big free agents, but you get something good, positive, a guy that's hungry, that wants to prove it in New York, with the spotlight. Here's a chance for him to rejuvenate his career, to try to get that bag somewhere else. Or you could say you want to sign him, but if he wants to go get the bag somewhere else, you let him go. You let him walk of the injury history. But it's a win-win situation. We did it with Reggie Bullock. We sat him down, and I think Bullock was around $5 to $6 million a year, if I'm not mistaken. And he nursed when he had that neck injury. So we could try that kind of experiment on that. It might work. It is what we can see on that. I mean,
yeah. I would love to have him at a trial. Like I said, if the price is right, I agree with you. We're willing to take that if you don't get offers for nobody else. Because I do agree with you that a lot of teams they're not gonna try to spend their money because they know what next year is about. You know what I mean? They're gonna preserve their cap space a little bit. Unless they feel like they got somebody out here now that's gonna get them over the hump. So they might do it then, but for the first, I think right now, I think people just going to stay the course and say, listen, 2022 got the big free agent class coming out. We want to have cap space, see what's going on with that. Because we got a good draft this year. We don't know what next year's draft going to be like, so that might not be the buzz next year. Next year going to be the free agency buzz. So and that even applies to the Knicks too. But we could be talking all this here. Pudge, salute my brother.
Salute to my main man, Pudge. What's going on?
Yeah. We can think the same thing about the Knicks. You know what? They might not go spending crazy money. They might listen. We might do another 1-year deal to next year. You know what I mean? They might say, listen, we ain't gonna go there and spend no money here. We ain't spend no money there. We might do another. We might sign some of the guys we have right now. Maybe, like I said, even if you do the Colin Sexton thing, that's fine because his cap money is only $6 million right now. That's nothing. You know what I mean? That's not the money. So yeah, other than that, they might just do that route and say, listen, we might sign Alex Burks and Reggie Bullock back. I think they're gonna bring Bullock back for sure. they might run the thing again until the end of this year. You know what I mean? Next season rather. So we'll see and how that's gonna go. But there's a lot of buzz out there, man, and I think it's going to be interesting, especially after next week. Once at the trading deadline, I'm at the trade deadline, the draft. At the draft, you know, it's going to be a lot of things going on, and the season to be over. I guess the season to be over next week. I think Milwaukee Bucks close that out. So now that the NBA full season is over, as far as playing basketball, you know, all the noise is going to pick up. You know what I mean? And then we're gonna see that pop, man. But yeah, man, Knicks in a good spot, guys. I really do, man. I think we go after. You know, you can get the disgruntled trade. That's fine too. But you know, it really all depends. We got to take advantage of everything. But I think getting Sexton is, to me, it's like signing a real good free agent. If you get that Sexton deal done, that's like going in an all-season signing as free agent. You know what I mean? You're getting that cat for $6 million, and what you choose to extend him, then you extend him. But right now, you're getting him on $6 million. You ain't gonna get no talent like that right now. The only thing you're giving up is talent, you know, and a couple of picks. I think you got to take that shot. You know what I mean? But if you think the Knicks going to go all out and say we like 19 contract, bring in Lowry on a 2-year, $60 million, and I agree with you 100%. Comment. You could do them deals, man. You can always flip these guys. People don't understand. Sometimes you sign to them contract, but don't pay out. You don't kind of lose the money because you know what? That because he didn't work out for you, he might work somewhere else. So you know, you say at the trading deadline, you flip it to a contender. You know what I mean? But I think he might end up in Philly, especially if they do the Ben Simmons thing. I think Philly gets Kyle Lowry. I think they need somebody like that. I think he homegrown, Philadelphia, Villanova. You know what I mean? The won a ring. He know what it is to be a champion. I think he can help Joel Embiid and them guys even way more than any point guard they got now, because what Ben Simmons might be a superstar, but he ain't mature as no Kyle Lowry. You know what I mean? He don't have the experience, the knowledge, the whereabouts like that dude do. So you never know. So that you could be a sign and trade going on there, man. But I like Kyle Lowry too, though. I had no problem if he came to New York because I know he got the pedigree in him. He got the fight. He got the dog in him. He's a champion. Shoot the 3-ball, can guard. You know, he's just a little older than a lot of guys getting there anyway, but he still got game left. So 19, man, I have no problem with the Kyle Lowry thing for sure. And but you know, at the same time, I think you get Colin Sexton. You say, do we bring D Rose back? You know what I mean? You know, you bring D Rose back, Colin Sexton, D Rose, and Valdoza is you know, them guys. They are two-way players in a sense. They can play either position. You know what I mean? And I think that that would be interesting. Yeah, Chris, I agree. Doc will make that call personally. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Knowing him, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just think of him and Curry in the backcourt. You know, that's
Two shooters.
Yeah. The only thing is they lack is a little bit of a speed, but they have that with interior defense. You know, unless they hold on to Shake Milton. I think Shake Milton, you know, it's a big plus on that team. And Thiago, they just play good defense and they're fast. Because we all know everyone's narrative this offseason, I think, is going to be try to stop the fast point guard. That's the new trend of the league. We've seen it. If the point guard and the guards are fast and use their speed and the pick and roll with the floater, that's the problem. That's the new boogeyman of the NBA now. That everyone's going to try to stop and put a stop to it. And if you're older and not unathletic at the guard position, you're going to get beat, and that's going to be a problem. And also in center, you know, with the pick and roll. But that's the main Achilles heel right now to I think to who's going to dominate the East. If you're going to dominate the Eastern Conference division, you definitely gotta stop that athletic point guard from running amok.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I like that. I like that Colin Sexton, D Rose, and Valdoza. I agree with you, Pudge. That's legit right there, man. All them guys can get buckets. They all can shoot. D Rose shooting better now from 3 at his age. Transfer his game a little bit to the 3 line to help him out. And Valdoza, what I was seeing what that cat could do, man, it's a matter of time. Once he figure out the NBA, he's gonna be a problem, for a lot of teams. So I'm looking forward to that, man. Yo, salute to the chat, man. Y'all keep it running. Y'all run amok with the thumbs up, run amok with these thoughts, these quotes. Y'all like and subscribe, hit that button, man. You know, Divine, Knicks Real Talk, BX Sports Jedi, we in here, man. I agree with you, Pud. Nice, we got a shot, bro. I really think we get. I think that out of all the things I hear out there right now, you got to go after that Colin Sexton thing. That for sure. And you already got, you know what it is.
There's my
Sarge,
main man,
salute, Sarge. Yeah, man. So, but yeah, it's a lot of trade buzz out there, man. The free agent scenarios of interest, the draft coming up. I mean, you know, we got a lot of places we're gonna go. I heard the Knicks talking about taking 2 of them draft picks and moving up to try to get up in a better spot. You know, they hear the Jared Butler from Baylor out there. You hear a lot of the Brogue Knights out there. You know, it's a lot of names out there, man. So that's interesting to see what they're gonna do with them 4 lottery picks. You know, I was reading on Bleacher Report that they're gonna definitely try to move up with 2 of them. We'll see how that goes. You know, but we in a good spot no matter what. He's Chris Woods. I think D Rose and Todd is back. Those are Tibbs guys. I agree with you, Chris. I think they're coming back too. I think Long Tibbs here, them got to be here, and I don't have no problem with that because you need a veteran leadership like that. Been in the grind, know the grind, and again, put these young guys in good places, man. That you know, for knowledge wise, so I'm definitely down with that for sure. To bring them guys back. Yeah, but it's one thing I do want to top on, man. If they move Colin Sexton and they talking about the Obi was in there, Kevin Knox, what do you guys feel about the Obi Toppin situation, chat, and everybody out there, man? You know, I like Obi, man. The first year he's my guy, but I can understand if he might want to go and get more time to play too. You know what I mean? He might not want to be that dude to sit behind Randall all his career right now. You know, so do you think that Obi Toppin might say, you know what? If they trade me, I understand. I might go to Cleveland, play the power forward spot and get some time with Okoro, Garland, whatever else they might bring in there. So it's really interesting to see, man, what y'all think about that, man. I definitely don't want to see Obi go, and you know, but if we do go for Colin Sexton, we might have to just live with that one. BX.
I don't want him to be traded. If we could hold on and we could do a smart trade where we could hold on to an Obi Toppin and Emmanuel quickly both, and you know, the rest, you know, besides Mitch Robinson could be moved depending on what the move it is and what they bring back. But man, I kind of like to see them try to bring most of the team and just add. Me personally, you know, add a couple, you know, the pieces that we need, the three and the point guard, either one by free agents and one by trade. That's the way, or even if you address it in the and by trade, I mean by trading our draft picks to bring that kind of player in there and not give up any physical players or just take on contract. You know, we could shed lower end of the roster, you know, and then the Akina, the Knox that we're not going to use unless if they think Knox is going to be a big part and they think big things about him. That wouldn't surprise me either. You know, granted, seeing that we like them, but Knox really didn't play. But it won't surprise me come this new season, this season coming up, that he become a big part of the Knicks team. It wouldn't surprise me one bit, man.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Obi, Knox, quickly, RJ, Mitch. I hope the Knicks keep them guys, man. I mean, I just hope so, bro. You know what I mean? You know, because I really do think that them guys is you know, is a big part of this here, man. And I understand Chris with the injury prone situation. I do agree with you on that. But you know, when I look at Mitch also, $1.8 million. They give me an injury prone player at $1.8 million instead of one at $198 million, $50, $60 million a year. One thing about you know, Mitch is a young guy. Like a lot of young guys, when you're that young, you get injured like that because you're so young, your bones haven't developed. Because a lot of players, you look at Durant and all them guys back in the Russell Westbrook. Remember when he got that? But they were so young, and now their body undeveloped, their muscles done. So I don't want to hopefully give up on Mitch, and I do understand the prone injury prone thing, Chris. I agree with you 100%. But for $1.8 million. You know, like I said, opposed to getting somebody like Oladipo $30 million and he get injured, or Kawhi Leonard for $35-40 million, he injured all the time. You know, I'd take that run on somebody like that, man, just for $1.8 million, man. That cat, I think, you know, put on 275 muscle. You know what I mean? The one thing about Mitch's injuries, they not them injuries that's gonna, how I say, derail your basketball career. You know, foot's heal, hands heal, stuff like that, and hopefully he's a heel because I think he's going to play a major part in what he just was coming to his own too. So guys like that, I do want to keep our young core, but I understand if you got to turn this a business, and if you got to move, you got to move them. You know, it's not what we want. It's what the Knicks organization wants. So you know, it all depends what they want. If they think they're going to move these guys because they're ready to go big game hunting, then you know, I get it, guy. I'm behind the Nick organization 100%. You know what I mean? But certain guys, like you said, quickly Obi. I think Obi got something about him, man. I just think that this guy get the more playing time he get, you get to see him relinquish his skills more, and I just think that'll bode well for the Knicks, man. So let's hope that if that's the case, you keep him, you move Knox, and throw in another pick or two. If you throw in one of the first in 2 seconds, or give him 2 seconds, who cares? Because who said them guys gonna be better than Obi anyway? You know what I mean? So we had to see how that goes, man. But I'm hoping Obi Toppin stays. I like Obi Toppin, man. I think the kid got talent, he got skills, and I think if they do the right thing with him, they can make it happen. I just wonder if he's gonna want to sit behind Julius Randle for the next 2 or 3 years, especially if they extend Julius Randle. Now you giving him a max, and Obi's gonna be stuck there playing behind Julius Randle for 4 or 5 years. I don't know if he want that, you know. So it remains to be seen. So but I know there's a good possibility with that deal because of Brock Aller working working for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They got ties there, so it's very possible that could happen though, for sure. Frank Monto said Frank Knox and both first rounders for Sexton. Yeah, I got you.
That's the route I want to go. That's the trade I want. That's the trade. If I'm gonna do a trade, that's the way I want to go with that. I don't want to give up an Obi Toppin in that deal like that. I would do that. That's the deal I want for Sexton. That's me personal. Absolutely. If you want to give up another first round, 2023 or 2024, whatever the case is, it might be a little bit too rich, but I'm okay with that as well.
Yeah, for him especially.
Yeah,
for him especially, because I think he's that. I think he's that special. Like I said, it goes back to again, gym rat, hard worker, improved every year. You know, you want guys that's on their maturation is going up. It's just not, you know, and stagnant. He's constantly elevating his game every year. You know what I mean? And playing in Cleveland, you know, and you had Garland down there, then you had Kevin Love, Chris Thompson. You had they wasn't in the best shape since LeBron left. You know what I mean? And things of that nature. So, you know, to come to imagine what he do in the bright lights in Madison Square Garden. I keep bringing it up because he got that it factor.
Right.
He got that it factor, bro. For real, he get it popping in New York. I know that for a fact.
Did you see that Will Barton declined his $17.7 million agreement, and now he's out there as a free agent. Man, that's another name out there. You know, I don't know. I think he should have stood with that one. At least go back for that 1 year deal on that, because I don't see a team giving him more than 17. In my opinion, like I said, everyone's keeping an eye on next following year. So guys are taking a little bit of a gamble at the wrong time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the reason why he probably did that because he can get a 4 year deal, even if the 4 year deal is only worth $10 million. That $40 million opposed to $17 million. You know what I mean? So
I got you.
Yeah. He probably opt out saying, "Well, I can get even if they give me $10 million for 4 years, that's $40 million, $23 million more dollars than the 17." That's probably the only reason he did that. Because even if somebody give him $15 million a year, 4 years, that's $60 million. You know, opposed to what he was getting. So I guess he probably looking at it from that standpoint. Which makes sense for a lot of them. You know, you opt out that 1 year, you rather have a 4 year than a 1 year because the God forbid something happened to you, and then this money guaranteed. So if something happened to you, you guaranteed that money anyway. So I can see why he did that. But Will Barton, he before he got injured, but I think with the emergence of Michael Porter Jr., that's gonna make it tough for him. You know what I mean?
He's another name. Excuse me to interrupt you, but he's another name that was out there available for trade availability. Another name, of course. Every time someone comes available, the Knicks always linked to those names. But I read that as well. I the Divine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That he's a bucket getter now. Will Barton, he can get buckets. You know what I mean? He's fast, skilled, talented. I don't think the Knicks will do that though. But
I don't think so. I don't think that's their cup of coffee type of player.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think the best thing I heard so far this year to me is Colin Sexton. When I look at everything, that all the trade buzz, all the noise that's out there, everything we hear every day about who coming to the Knicks, so far to me, the best one is Colin Sexton. That I just think that fits. You know what I mean? It fits, and you don't have to worry about too much. I think so, D-Rob. I think them cats not a wheel and deal in New York. I think Worldwide was Brock Aller. You already know. Them cats know how to hustle. Leon Rose was an agent. He know how to hustle. He know how to talk. He know how to hustle. So I think we in that spot we good, D-Rose. I think we do have somebody who could pull all this stuff off, man. Because like I said, you either get them or lose them for nothing. But I just know that I think the 2 first-round picks, Cleveland will be crazy not to do that. Here's why: we giving them what, the 19th and 21st.
If that's the reports, I thought it was
What?
yeah.
Yeah, you're giving them the 19th.
Yeah,
think about it. You giving them the 19th and 21st for college. You know what they could do? Take their 4th pick, the 19th and the 21st, and move up in the top 3. You know what I mean? So Cleveland looking at it like this here. I might got a chance to get Suggs or somebody. You know what I mean? Real quick, man, we're gonna bring Sarge in the building. Let me plug the show right quick. We'll be back Knicks Real Talk, man. We in the building for Sunday. I'm gonna bring y'all in. Let me get to plug the show. I'm gonna bring Sarge in the building. Salute. Yeah, we back, man. Salute. Knicks Real Talk, the Sunday show, man. We here at Divine, Bronx Sports Jedi. We got Sarge in the building, just came on the panel. Salute, Sarge. My brother, what's going on with you?
What's good as always. How good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It's always a good time when I'm here with you brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for having me.
Yeah, man. We was talking all this good NBA stuff. You know, Knicks is fire right now. We still kind of, reminisce over the Colin Saxon thing. I'm still big on that, as you heard us in the chat because you was in there. I just like if we can get that thing done with Knox and 2 firsts and leave Obi off the table. We can pull that off, man. I'm good.
So you guys know what buttons to push to get me out of the chat and onto the panel. You already know when you start talking about my man Obi. You know, I got to be heard. But on the real. To your point, if there's a legit trade out there that's going to make the Knicks better overall, long term, I'm not talking about this short term where we just got guys that if they don't win in the next 2 years, then we just wasted a future talent in an Obi Toppin or Emmanuel Quickly or somebody like that, because in their mind they think that we are 1 piece away from going to the chip. Now, any sane and rational person knows that's not even close to being the case, right? So I think, and I was on another pod, and this came up. I think that the Knicks can legitimately contend in the Eastern Conference and develop players at the same time. I think that's an option, right? And it's gonna. I will be able to give you a better direction after the draft. Once we get these players from the draft, regardless of if we use 1 pick, 2 picks, or trade up, trade down, whatever it is that we're doing, those guys that we bring onto the squad, that's going to determine who we look for in free agency. That will be Obi.
Yeah. I was laughing too on that one. Good one, Chris.
Good one.
You know, and I feel that, right? And I think back when it's ironic that Chris says that, because when I hear stuff like that, I think about back in the day, long time ago, when I was a private in the Army in basic training, right? And the only thing I could hear the drill sergeant saying, G-man, and I can't even focus on what I'm trying to fire my weapon and qualify, right? I can't focus because you're yelling my name. Stop yelling my name. I'm not trying to shoot nobody. I'm trying to shoot this target. And you are interrupting my concentration. So unless I'm doing something that's just outlandish and what, I'm a rookie. I'm in my case, I'm a civilian that you're trying to teach how to be a soldier, right? I'm not going to learn that overnight. You, the drill sergeant, got 12, 15 years in, so this is old hat to you. You can't expect that from somebody else. So Tibbs, as a seasoned coach, as a seasoned head coach, has to understand that these rookies are going to make mistakes, right? So at the same time, you can't expect it. And again, if you guys went over this in practice and it's a bonehead play, then it's a bonehead play. How about this? How about we wait for a timeout and discuss the bonehead play, or wait till you bring me to the bench and discuss a bonehead play? Don't interrupt my concentration when I'm trying to remember my footwork and where I'm supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing and things like that. I ain't with that. But you guys had some outstanding takes. Divine, when you brought up that Sexton, Luka, and D Rose, man, I think you own something right there.
I think that would be boss.
I think you own something right there. That right there, boy. Look at here.
That's no see just saw it. That's a tough three point guard to keep up with, man. All them cats can get they got motors. But and I mean, you think about because I think they both, to me, like, you could throw D Rose at a 2, you could throw Luka Valdoza at a 2, you could throw Sexton at a 2 because they combo almost, like Sexton especially. You could bring D Rose in and throw him in there with Colin Sexton if you wanted to for a few minutes. You could bring Emmanuel quickly with with Sexton. You could bring Valdoza with D Rose. It's just so interchangeable. These guys. I think all three of them guys can play inside or outside, and I think that's just so unique to have 3 guys like that with a veteran like Derrick Rose. Having a veteran like that, I just think that speaks volumes to me, man, for sure.
Real quick, and I'm gonna give BX a chance to jump in here. I don't want to monopolize things, right? But
you're fine, man. You're fine.
There's a couple points, and I agree with the chat when we talk about we know Tibbs is not that guy, right? So Tibbs is quiet as kept. Tibbs is on the clock. You know what I'm saying? Tibbs was brought in here to establish the New York Knicks. Now he's done that. He's done his job. I think this year, what the Knicks would do, Tibbs will still run his course. But if this is what I'm going to be watching this upcoming season, I'm going to be watching the offensive prowess and game calling for the Knicks, because I have a sinking suspicion. And I've said this before. That the assistant head coach that's on the bench, Mr. Johnny Bryant, I think he's being groomed for something right now. I'm just saying. And I'm looking at the trajectory of the head coaches that's been hired this year. Now, look at that for a minute. Check out these head coaches that have been hired this year. And think about, I'm not going out looking for somebody. Listen, the best way to advance your organization is to grow your talent, right? Tibbs is definitely not that guy, and he doesn't have the patience to be able to, how should I put this? If you're not playing Tibbs basketball, you're not going to play. Point blank, period. The guys that get on the court play Tibbs basketball. So I say that to say this. Back to the Sexton, D Rose, and Luka. The reason I like this is because you hear all aspects of what I would like to see us do in building the team, right? You bring in a young talented Sexton. You bring in now, mind you, when I say this, I don't want the chat to kill me. So when I say what I'm about to say, just give me a little latitude to get you back around the home base, right? You bring in a veteran presence in Luka Valdoza, right? Of course, he has not played in the NBA, but the league that he's played in, he's been substantial in that league. So he brings a certain level of experience with him. And then to cap all that off, you got the vet D Rose that could come in and do for these guys what he did for Emmanuel Quick. How quick did we see Quickly change once D Rose was on the roster? How quickly did we see his game elevate and him doing different things that we weren't used to him seeing him do, right? And that's why I like that. And then to top all that off, and I always got a point to where I'm trying to get to. It take me a while to get there, but I got a point to get to where I'm trying to get to. Those 3 guys that you just named, guess who they make better? My man Obi. They make my man Obi better because we're not playing half-court basketball no more, right? We're not dribbling across the floor and stopping and then setting up the offense. I need to be in transition. Take advantage of these guys' athleticism. That's why you draft them, because they're athletic. But then you're going to put them in a box and say, I don't want you to use your athleticism. I want you to be a fundamental scorer, or whatever the case may be. Give me a second, guys. I got DoorDash at the door.
Yo, real quick. Sorry, going to get his DoorDash. He'll be back and all that good stuff.
Dinner.
Yeah. But you know what, though? The one thing about the Colin Sexton thing to me, and D Rose and Valdoza, like I said, they're so interchangeable. But can you just imagine the tempo that we could change the game with them guys? Now, RJ and Colin Sexton, Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin. I mean, these cats running on a wing, man, and they just launching them. You know what I mean? Valdoza can launch it, quickly can launch it. You know what I mean? Randall can launch it. I just think that them and if you play off them, my man getting to that hole, he gonna get to the hole. He can get to the hole. So I do like that that move right there. But for the Tibbs thing, let me real quick in the chat on Tibbs thing. Tibbs is a Leon Rose dude. Let me throw this in the chat. Tibbs is a Knicks culture guy. You know what I mean? He epitomized what is a Tibbs been a part of this thing, even in the spirit when he was with Van Gundy, Pat Riley, and them. I just think that people are underestimating Tibbs and Leon Rose's connection for years. Them guys been doing this together for a long time. That's why Leon Rose hired him, because see, Tibbs was a president. He know what it is to be a president. He can help him out with certain things. He has a little voice. But I do think Tibbs is gonna get us to the promised land. Now, what he win, I don't know. I guarantee you, Tibbs get the Knicks to the final. I know that for a fact. Tibbs will get us to the final. We got the infrastructure. He could coach. He could develop. Look what he did with these guys, man. Look what Randall did this year. A lot of that had to do with his own work. Look what RJ did with this year. He set a foundation. When you come in to play in Knicks basketball, you got to put in work. That's what Tibbs do. You got to put in work. You know what I mean? And I think these guys, when they play for him, they put in the work. You know, look at Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? Look what he turned out to be. A lot of these guys, man, Kurt Heinrich and all these guys, man, he turned them into something. He has that mentality because he's truly a lifer. Tibbs is a life coach. All he do is he not married. All he do is think about basketball. You know what I mean? So I do think he's going to be around for a minute, and I think he will get us to the promised land. I'm calling out on Knicks Real Talk tonight. Y'all heard me Sunday 7:01 on the 18th of 2021. I'm calling it. Tibbs going to get the Knicks to the promised land. You know what I mean? I just think that we got the infrastructure for him in place to do that. You know, he turned Derrick Rose into a 63 win team in the Eastern Conference Finals and against all these other cats out there, LeBron and all these dudes, Kobe and everybody. So you got to watch out for Tibbs, man. You know, everywhere he went, he won. You know, and everywhere he left, they ain't doing nothing. So let's don't underestimate that dude. But real talk, it's good to know that we could do this stuff, man, and that we got some opportunities out there, man. So everybody in the chat, salute. Pudge in the building. Baba Bowie just chimed in. He in the building. D. Ross, David, aka Allah Y, salute. Chris Willard, Queens Court in the building. Everybody in here, man. We talking Knicks. You know, it's all good up in here, man. We got a lot going on. The trade bug, the free agent bug, but we ready to build this thing, man. But let's hope we don't give away the farm to get anybody. But right now, you know, the Damian Lillard thing, like I said, that was out there. I don't read too much of that BX. I really don't. I think that it's just one of them things that's out there. I don't see Damian Lillard coming to New York City. That's for sure.
No, and then with Tom Thibodeau, I don't think they'll replace him. I think he'll just go. If anything, if they think he's not the next head coach, they'll just bring him they'll make him just bring him to the front office, general manager, vice president of team operation or scouting or whatever the case is. They'll just keep him within the organization with that. I don't see them. You know, I don't see it ending or severing ties in a negative or foul way. I think those days are over. I think they're moving forward, and it's too soon. It's only year one, guys. I mean, we improved so much with Tom Thibodeau and all that. It might not be the way we like. You know, we want to see certain players play at a certain time, but he knows his roster. It's only year one, and we're already thinking about his replacement. I mean, it is kind of funny to think on that. You know, just even fathom to even think about that. You know, so I don't. You know, it's just that's just noise. It's just for us talking, but but to salute to everyone out there, man. Salute to Pudge. Salute to Bowie, Tim Smith, like always, Chris. You know, it's always good to see you on there. And Wise, I love it. He says Tibbs is playing out his contract. Believe that. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. He no way.
Yeah, Chris, I agree. His body language doesn't seem good. I agree with you on that, Chris. You know, I just don't know if with that Damian Lillard thing, man, that's a touchy situation for a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's that, man, this cat can wind up getting $54 million 1 year, 49. That's a lot. I just don't know if you're gonna have enough money then you got to try to re-sign Randall. You got to try to re-sign. Well, RJ won't be there if you do the trade with them. So you giving him $40-something million a year, then you got to give Randall $30-something million a year, 28, 29. And that's two people almost $80 million. You're only gonna have like $20 million some dollars to spend. That's why I just don't see that. You know what I mean? And who you gonna put around this guy? You know what I mean? With the money, I mean, you can go with a cat maybe to sign guys, but you bring Damian Lillard in here, then you got a lot of contracts you're gonna have to re-up. So I'm with the Sexton route. I think I'm gonna stick with that one. But yeah, man, it's a good conversation to have, a good place to be in. Next Real Talk, we in the building, man. It's Divine, Bronx Sports Jedi, chilling. Salute to everybody out there, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Y'all got any thoughts about what you want to get into? Holla at us, man. Throw your thoughts up in there. We chat them like we always do, because the chat is where it's at. It's always popping off up in there. Without the chat, it ain't nothing. You know what I mean? So we keep the chat moving. Chat keep us moving. But yeah, man, there's a lot of interesting stuff, BX. I'm really interested to see. Like I said, go ahead, bro.
Did you see Dallas is interested in Nolan Noel? They're very hot and heavy bringing him in here and poaching him for the center position. Me personally, I'll end up trading, not trading because they're both free agents. Just allow Dallas sign Nolan Noel, and I'll take Colin Stein in a heartbeat. We want to trade those kind of players. It's not a trade because we're signing each other's key free agents, but I think Carly Stein will be a cheaper deal to bring him in here. Kentucky connecting as well, and I would love to see him work under Kenny Payne and see what this coaching staff would do with Carly Stein. And Nolan Noel, I love the way he gave us, and I would love to bring him back, but I think his price will be a little too rich, especially if we're getting involved in the Damian Lillard pool or any other type of players that might consume it. It might be a little bit too rich for us to keep, because do we really want to tie up over $10+ million for multi years in Nolan Noel? We seen what we got, and we saw what we played in the playoffs. And it was good through the regular season, but I don't know. I think we could get almost, or not the same, but 80% of that same production in a different type of center, and for a little bit more money than that. That's my opinion. What do you guys think on that?
Yeah, I think he played for Dallas. That's what he played for Dallas. You know what I mean? Familiar with the situation. Dallas familiar with him. He's a pro's pro. Maryland Well has been around, and I think he will help them out a great deal. You know what I mean? You throw him at the 5, and even if they don't get rid of Porzingis, you have almost 2 7-footers at the 4 or 5. Porzingis could stretch the floor. You know what I mean? That open up, that keep Doncic able, Luka to be able to go up and down the lane when he want to. Noel don't clog the lane because he could. I like that little short jump shot. Noel been developing, so he can fade out at that little pop that little jump shot at the baseline. Excuse me, and then you get it popping. So I think it'll be a good deal for them. But I do think that Knicks won't sign him because of that money. Because like I said, they can go get that. They can go get somebody to do the same thing Noel doing, way cheaper than that. And no pun intended to Noel. I'm just saying from an economic perspective, somebody who only going to block shots. You know what I mean? And that's why I go back to Mitchell Robinson. The kid, he could block shot, but he also offense rebound very well. You know what I mean? Good offense rebounding. He skies, he got movement. So for $1.8 million compared to what you're going to pay him, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I don't think you bring him back. You know what I mean? If they do, fine.
Yeah. I wanted to touch with Chris. My opinion with the Dallas Mavericks, keep an eye on that. With that, Luka Porzingis, he has that contract. You could engage with Dallas as the New York Knicks and try to include them as a 3-team trade with another player. Porzingis, could move to let's just say, for instance, to an Oklahoma OKC, or we will end up getting an SGH, or you could even, dare we say, go talk to New Orleans and Zion Williamson to New York, Luka to Porzingis to New Orleans. We'll send whatever we need to send, down to Dallas, or get involved with those type of trades. 3-team trade. That'd be something interesting. So let's keep an eye on that. Could Jason Kidd mend those fences between Luka and Porzingis? Going forward. What could be that's a good thing to keep our eye and the temperature on the Dallas Mavericks to be involved as part of a 3-team. Well, a lot of teams anyway, when they want to make a trade, I think they're going to contact the Knicks regardless to be involved in a 3-team trade because of the cap flexibility and the picks that the New York Knicks have. So I think the Knicks will be. I think Leon Rose and company. I think their phones will be busy. I think they're going nuts, and I know they're feeling and hearing all type of calls about everything from everybody around the league and all different types of things. So we'll keep that. That's something to keep a temperature on with the Dallas Mavericks, in my opinion.
Absolutely. But we in a good spot no matter what. I just think that with the point guard league coming in, if we get the right point guard, the Knicks are going to be dangerous. But that's all. Think about it. We went 41-31, fourth in the Eastern Conference, coming from 21 wins the last season before that, 20 wins of what we did the year before that. We did it with a mediocre point guard. You know what I mean? The point guard was very mediocre in New York, for the last so many years. And then when Derrick Rose came in and got traded, that helped out a great deal. But we did all this on a mediocre point guard, man. So that's why I said we gotta think about where we at. Like I said, for me, I know you can either get people like the Duncan Robinson thing. I'm more Kelly Oubre. I just like I like that linkiness. I like his dog in him. We need cats who could play in New York. Let's not get it twisted. You got to be able to take the play in New York. So I like guys like that. I think they can handle. I mean, if we ended the regular season, not the regular season, we came out of the all season with Colin Sexton and Kelly Oubre, I wouldn't even be mad. And you got cap space going into the free agent next year. So even if you give Oubre hypothetically a certain amount of money, you still got about 30 million or 30-something million, or you can wheel and deal for either Randall or a max player. You know what I mean? So and you can go with the cap to sign Randall, I'm assuming. So yeah, I do like the situation with that, man. Like I said, we don't got to give up too much to be more competitive this year. I think we could be competitive and still maintain what we have. You know what I mean? Look what we did with what we got. Think about that. Think about that for a minute. Look what we did when we got one guy on the Knicks make over $10 million last year. One guy, Julius Randle.
Right.
I mean, and that is unbelievable. You got one guy who not even a max player. He mid-level max for 20 million, 22 million with a bunch of rookies, second-year players, and veterans here and there, and you made the playoffs. So I do think that we are into something real good down there in New York. I just hope that we can maintain and get it right. But y'all got anybody out there who you think might fit the New York Knicks time scheme, man? If you want to throw somebody in the chat who you like, tell me what y'all guys thinking out there. Who you want to see Knicks get out there, come in for free agency, and see if we can make a difference with the team. You know what I mean? We can get us to another level. There's different levels to it, so we want to get to another level. So there's got to be some guys out there that might not cost us to farm, along with the draft picks that we're going to draft, whoever that can get us to another level. So the key for us this season, guys, is getting to the next level. Whether that next level be the second, third round, it's step by step to a higher form, man, the elevation. So we got to get to another level. You know what I mean? And so without having to mortgage our future, not have to give up everything that we worked so hard for. I like Chris. I like the Lonzo thing too. I think that will. I agree with you 100%. He haven't had a coach like Tibbs and challenge him like that, not in LA or New Orleans. So yeah, that would be interesting, man. Probably bring out the best in him. You know what I mean? And I like that. And especially be working on his game, man. He can get that penetration down a little bit. I like Lonzo as well. I think the Knicks could do that for sure, and still have room for next year or this year to sign somebody to a max deal. So that would be interesting to see for sure.
I'm trying to come up with a trade scenario, so bear with me. That I think it's a 3-team trade that I think it might. I'm just trying to see if the money fits and all that. I'm gonna freestyle it anyway. I'm gonna go. Here we go. The Knicks get a 3-team involvement. They go since they've been training well with the Dallas Mavericks. They go to the Mavericks. They ask the Mavericks to get Orlando Magic's involved. The Orlando Magic sends Terrence Ross, Jonathan Isaac, and we'll get the rights for the center from Dallas that I just mentioned him. Oh my God, I just
Holly Stein.
Because you can still get him, and then the Knicks will end up trading the 7th pick. Well, Orlando gives the 7th pick to Dallas, the Knicks 19th, the 21st, the following 2021st pick, first round pick, Frank Ntilikina and it's the one Mitchell Robinson, and Orlando ends up with Porzingis, Kevin Knox, and a couple they swap picks with the Dallas Mavericks this year. So that's something. I got to see if the money fits, but that's the type of deals. My point is that's the type of deals that it's going to have to happen if you want to move Porzingis and if the Knicks are going to be beneficial of taking on contracts like a Isaac and a Ross onto there. You get Isaac who could play the 3. Ross could also play the backup 3 or the shooting guard 2. Instant offense off the bench. Then I think that's the end of Derrick Rose in my opinion. if we bring in a Terrence Ross back to the team. I don't see both will fit.
Yeah, I like that deal. Salute to Lionel Williams, L Train, salute Lionel Williams. Absolutely. I agree with that as well, man. But you know what? That Jonathan Isaac, man, and
T. Ross.
yes, man, that would be nice. That you killing two birds right there, bro. Jonathan Isaac and a guy coming off the bench who could knock it down like Terrence Williams. I mean Terrence Ross. I'm gonna say he can get buckets, man. That's a nice deal. Terrence Ross on about $13 million deal.
Yeah, he's still 13 million. It's gonna total. They're gonna be like 27 total. Both guys are on there, 27 and 30 million. And you got two guys though that that are gonna give you solid minutes. They both play defense because they played under Steve Clifford. They know how to play defense. They're defensive-minded team players as well. Prior to so they're coming to Thibodeau's system and not what you call it. They're coming to Thibodeau's system not knowing what they're doing. So they're coming in there knowing how to play defense, rotate, play the right state of mind, and they're just going to bring an offensive game that is like phenomenal.
Hey, real quick, Pudge Nice. I'm glad you said that because I will do that. You absolutely, Pudge Nice. I would sign Melo to a vet minimum, no question about it. Wouldn't even hesitate. Melo, that's him. Derrick Rose and Todd Gibson been around this league. They know the game. You talking about some real savvy veterans, and Melo still can get you 10, 15 off the bench. I gotta go with that, my brother. Good call. Yeah, Rodney Blake, salute. I can't get Chris Paul all that money. No way, Jose. But yeah, man, I do Pudge Nice. I like that. Melo would be nice. I don't know if I could do that Chris Paul thing, man. Now if he won 4 years, $100 million. I mean, he's Chris Paul. Don't get me wrong, I ain't hating, but I think we can get Kyle Sexton and with D Rose back, and I'll be happy with that and Valdoza. That's what I would like to do. But Chris tried to get in. I don't know where you at, Chris. I'll come back and I'll do it again. But yeah, man, that Terrence Ross and Jonathan Isaac, that I could see that on the Knicks. I could definitely see that. I mean, I could definitely see that for sure.
What we got there? You guys make it work. Make it work without Frank. Hey, Dave Jackson, we'll try. I'm gonna try.
He said, "No Frank, no thing." He said, "Nah, take Frank out of there." Frank had a good game the other day. He was doing it. Step back threes and everything in a FIBA game the other day. Look at Frank. Yeah, I love Frank. I like Frank too. I'm one of the Frank things. I like Frank. Frank, my man. I like hardworking kids, man. Try to go through all the adversity and just keep grinding. Just keep grinding. Like, I don't care what, man. I just love that about the young man. Where even he wind back over in where he at, but the man he tried to come away and make it happen in the biggest city in the world. You know what I mean? For real.
Let me ask you this: what are you expecting from Frank Ntilikina, guys, in the FIBA, in the Olympics? Is there a particular goal, a particular statistic that you're looking for him to think that he might be able to turn it around in the New York Knicks uniform, or you think that ship has sailed? That's a question for everybody, chat, panel, everyone out there.
I think that Frank still has the reason that Frank is still on his team is I think that the coaching staff wanted to give him another chance. I think that they felt like the previous regime did not develop Frank the way that he needed to. We saw that with RJ. Bad shooting coaches got him changing his shot for no reason. So now he got to unlearn what they taught him and get back to what he learned, in his heart, the foundational basketball pieces that he knows how to do. But as far as his performance in the Olympics, I think that's a different situation. So it will still show you that he has potential, but does he have the potential to perform at the NBA level? I say yes, he does. I just don't think that it's going to be with the Knicks, to be honest with you, right? Mm-hmm. I think that when you look at it, he fits the timeline with what the Knicks got going on. But the way, so what position would you put Frank in on the roster that's currently constructed right now?
What position?
Yeah,
I would have to be, for me, is he could play 1 to the 3, but he could be 3 and D. I mean, it'd be 1 to 3 for sure.
So let's say, let me see, who would he? Either Bullock, take Bullock minute or Burks minute. One of those two. He would have.
If they're still here, if they
they're
still
here, if they're still here, that's a good point. If they're still here, but do you think that he's still playing in the Olympics, right? So he's still producing and things of that nature. But do you think that his Olympic performance would be a catalyst in saying we're going to start Frank?
No, I don't think so. No. I think it could be a rotation piece.
Yeah. One thing I'd like to see Franklin Akina play with an elite point guard on the floor, and I would like to see where he's going to take his game to the next level. Maybe that responsibility of NBA ball handling is just a little bit overwhelming for him. And not let him to go do his strength. Maybe his catch and shoot or coming off the curl might be a strength for him. But with the responsibility of running an NBA offense, it might be a little too much for him to take on his shoulders. And it might work for him in an international level, but not in a professional NBA level.
You hit something that was key to everyone that we've been talking about, right? All these guys that didn't play last year, the guys that may come back, the guys that may not come back. But one thing that you hit on that's key is that point guard position. When you don't have a solid point guard to orchestrate your offense, that means guys have to step outside of what they're comfortable doing and do something extra, right? Now, if my thing is that I'm a good 3-point shooter, right? I can catch and shoot. Don't ask me to bring the ball up the court and create my own shot, because that's not my strength. I can learn it, right? And if I'm forced to do it, I may give you 20, 25, 30% of being successful at doing it, but that's not my thing. My thing is being a 45% 3-point shooter once I, catching it and then shooting the ball. That's what I do. But you got to have somebody to get me the ball. And we have never had that. We've been clamoring for a point guard this whole time. All these players that we're talking about, they suffer because we are lacking at the point guard position. We lacking that floor general.
Yeah, I agree.
That's right. Yeah, and I think that's what's been our Achilles heel. I'm sorry. We just got to get. That's why I go back to what I said earlier about the 3 guys that I talked about. Them guys got skills. You know what I mean? And they not scared. They're not scared to get down. I mean, and I think it'll bode well. But man, it's going to be interesting in the next week and a half. Like I said, because we're going to wheel and deal. Something going to happen. And for me with Frank, you know what? If they, I just only thing that keeps me curious about Frank, guys. Sarge and BX in the chat. This is what keeps me. You always bring me up about Frank, and I move on from that. If they felt like they wasn't going to keep him, they could have traded Frank. You understand? Yeah. They could have got a second for him. Yeah, they could have traded Frank this year. The trading deadline. They could have traded Frank at a trading deadline. And the Knicks always say, you know what? We're not going to keep you. Why losing for nothing? That's what I'm trying to figure out. They must going to tend to bring Frank back on a cheap deal, or they could have moved Frank. Hear me out, chat. They could have moved Frank at the deadline last year if the Knicks felt like they wasn't going to keep him. They could have got a second rounder for him or whatever. A lot of teams like Dallas wanted Frank because they know he got a skill set. You know what I mean? And so we got to take that into consideration. Why did the Knicks did not move Frank Ntilikina at the deadline if they wasn't going to keep him and lose him for nothing? So that's the only reason I always bring the Frank up thing. Do you think the Knicks will sign him back just for that reason right there? Because they could have let him go. They got a trader and got something for him to help him boost a better deal. Now, if they would have traded Frank for 2 seconds as a hypothetically because somebody wanted to do it because they contended. You could have put the 2 second-round draft picks in a deal with these 2-round draft picks to move up and do something more better. So that's why I would bring up the Frank thing. And I know a lot of them as not Frank guys, I get it, but from a business standpoint, the man got a certain skill set, and if the Knicks didn't really want that man, they could have let him go, and he's still here. Frank has survived 4, 5, 6 coaches, 4, 5, 6 point guards. You know what I mean? This guy went through all of that thing. You know what I mean? Oh my God, bro! He would have 5 or 6 coaches. every point guard came into New York, didn't stay here. Why? Because Frank probably make him look bad in practice. We don't need you. Because Frank probably make him look bad in practice. Frank get in there, shut them cats down, and next thing you know,
And that's an important point, Devon, because Tibbs is a defensive guy.
Yeah, right.
If you locking people down in practice, Tibbs like, okay, I can use this guy right here in my grand scheme of things, right? I'm not finna get an ass set up. We'll work on his shooting or where we're gonna get him playing time at, but this guy is a lockdown defender. Why am I gonna get rid of that skill set? And that's how I coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna.
Hey, real quick, before you chime in real quick, I want to throw this out there. People got to understand this too, though. The reason why Franklin played last year, I don't think it was because I think they said Leon Rose and they said, listen, we paying Bullock, we paid Bullock to play this year. We bought an Alex Burks to play. We didn't bring them in to sit the bench with that money, knowing that Frank still had time to either get signed or whatever. They're like, look, we got to play Alex Burks. We bought him in here. We got to play these guys. We bought him in here. So right now, y'all sit back there and do this. And that's one reason I also think that Frank don't get no burn, because the guy that they bought in, they re-signed as free agents. You didn't re-sign a free agent to sit him on the bench for $5 million for nothing. You know what I mean? You take Alfred Payton, you re-sign him. You signed the guy because you wanted him to play, and you wasn't going to let him sit on the bench. I'm like, nah, you know that's a waste of money to me. You can decide some draft picks. I just want to put that out there.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, I was saying, don't be surprised if his rights get traded at the draft night. You know, just to free up more cap and space to move up. You know, and just because team might just say, I'll take it for tonight, and by the end of 2 weeks he's off the books anyway, so I'll get rid of that contract. Just for cap space. So the chapter of Frank is not over. It's not. Could it be over? No, but could you see so many directions with Frank Ntilikina? There is so many different directions with this organization. So we'll see how that perspires, how that goes with that. I know he plays a hell of a mean center bench. I mean, he's really good.
What's crazy is this, right? What Knicks fans, and I hope they understand this when we look at the grand scheme of things, right? That whatever moves that's going to be, and to Devon's point, where we're going to see our front office start flexing their muscles is going to be on draft night, because we have not heard a peep from the front office yet. Everything that we've heard has been from outside sources that have no ties to the Knicks, right? None at all. New York Post and all these other people. Okay, tell me, when is the last time somebody from the New York Knicks organization called you and said, "Hey, BX, check this out. This is what we're thinking about doing in the draft, right? This is who we're interested in, and this is who we want to pursue in free agency." Crickets. You've heard crickets. So until somebody from the front office comes on TV or in Twitter or whatever and says, "This is what we're doing," it's all hyperbole. This is hyperbole. And again, you got to trust in the front office. You got to trust in your front office. That's why they're here. You got to trust the guys that you brought in to do the work. They have done their homework. They already look. Leon Rose, that dude, he been making phone calls since we entered the playoffs. This dude is on. He's sitting courtside, and if you watched him. If you watch his moves, right, he's smooth as a jar of brand new minted peanut butter, right? He's smooth. This dude's smooth. I'm telling you, because after the game, if you watch him, he goes up to different players and have a 30-second conversation. Be like, "Hey, look, this what's up, right? I know things ain't going the way that it's going right now. There's a potential that if you're open to it, have your agent contact me." And we can start some talks about potentially bringing you on to the next organization. And you never hear anything about that, because what they do, they smart. They don't want you to read their lips. So he keeps his mask on. He gets in dude's ear, whispers, and then dude daps him up, gives him a hug, and he walks off. Stop playing with me right now, guys. Don't play with me. Right. I'm telling you. I'm waiting for this draft for real.
Yeah, me too. That's gonna be real interesting, man. And I just think we're gonna be on it, bro. The Knicks is on it. We're gonna make some moves. We're gonna shock a lot of people at that draft. I think this will be a first time in a while you heard Nick doing some wheeling and dealing. You know what I mean? And I think it's gonna be nice to see. And the way it's gonna pop off, man. Let me hit a plug right quick. And time out, show some love to Biz Mark, and I'm gonna throw a subscribe chat. We be right back, fellas. Knicks Real Talk, Divine, Bronx Sports Jedi. We got Sarge in the building on the panel. We talking Knicks. I'll be right back. 30 seconds. You already know what it is. Yo, salute, Knicks Real Talk. Yeah, man, salute, man. We back. Knicks Real Talk, man. Divine, Bronx Sports Jedi, Sarge. R.I.P. to Biz Markie, man. R.I.P. man. Rest in power, my brother. One of the pioneers in the business, man. Salute to you and your family and everybody out there on Bizland. Yeah, man. We got some good options, man. That draft night thing. If we don't trade the picks and we decide to move up, ladies and gentlemen, any particular name that you guys like out there, man? I'm thinking with that 19th to 21st should get us in. I think it can get us in the top. Let's say I'm gonna say the top 12. I think we can get in the top 12 with them 2 picks. That and especially all depends on who the team is. Especially that they're not looking the guy that they're gonna have. The guy that they're gonna have, he's gonna make a difference on their team right away. When you drafting that high, I'm expecting when you drafting that high that he gonna play. But for the impact, it remains to be seen. It's hard to say. But I think the Knicks. I like obviously I like Davion Mitchell. You already know how I feel about that young man. I think Bogle Knight is special. I think Giddey is special. There's a lot of guys out there that's nice, but I like Davion Mitchell from Baylor though. I just think that boy he got that Norman Powell in him to me, especially on the defense end. So I like him. I think we can snatch up, possibly get Moody from Arkansas. I like Moody from Arkansas. I think his game is good. So it's a guy. Anybody out there that y'all got thinking that top 12 that you think of? I'm not sure if y'all know who in the top 12. I'm not sure if I even know who in the top 12 except for the main names. But the draft is pretty deep. Anybody out there y'all looking to see the Knicks get if we had to move to 2 picks for something?
So I don't think that those 2 picks is going to get us in the top 12. I think that it'll get us 12 through 19. I think that's the range that we're going to have to be in, unless there's a substantial trade to someone that wants to do something different, right? I look at first and foremost, what are the needs for the Knicks? In my opinion, we talked about this on Freezy's show as well. In my opinion, the most substantial need we have is at the point guard position. Point guard, shooting, strong forward, and then I need a big to back up Mitch. Right, that's what I'm looking at. And when I look at the guys that's available in the draft from 12 to 19, I don't see anybody there other than Book Knight that I could potentially make a move for. But if I could take those 2 picks, or not even that, let's do this, because we did this on the show the other night, right? Let's say we take the 19th pick and the 32nd pick and trade down. So now what I'm picking at is I'm picking at 21, 23, and 24. So I get all these picks back to back to back, right? And then I get to select, because the dude that I wanted Sharif Cooper at the point guard position.
Nice.
That's what I was looking at. Sharif Cooper at the point guard position. Trey Murphy at the strong forward. And I also looked at that kid from University of North Carolina. What's his name?
Big dude. Oh, you talking about
the center?
His name is weird. I can't
Sharp. Not him. I'm talking about Sharp.
Oh, so okay.
Sharp. I'm looking at Sharp. So what we just did is we took the 19th pick, which the guy that we want is going to be available after 19 anyway. So I don't need that 19th pick. If you got somebody that you want to get at 19. So say for instance, if you're looking at I don't know, a Cal Jones or I know James Booknight's probably not going to be there at 19. That's not going to happen. But if you're looking at an Isaiah Jackson or someone like that, then you got the opportunity to be able to trade up to get that guy. I need your 2 picks, and then I can go get who I need to get, and then we can work that out. But it just depends on how we work. And then Trey Mann is also a name that I've been hearing people talk about as well at the point guard position.
And what about my man? What about my man out of Gonzaga, Corey Kristaps? How do y'all feel about him?
I don't know a lot about that guy. Let me see where he's
He plays the small. He plays the forward spot. Yeah, he plays the forward spot.
He's projected to go at 14 right now.
Yeah, I mean him himself was getting it on down in Gonzaga.
Yeah, they were. And the reason the one thing I like about him is the fact that he's a senior. So that means he was in school for 4 years. He's got that mentorship, and he's coming out a little bit more seasoned than someone that's coming out their sophomore or freshman year. You know what I'm saying? I like that in that. But these guys that we're talking about, they're coming in, and they'll be kind of similar, in my opinion, to what we thought when we drafted Obi at 8, right? So when the draft was made at 8, we had a couple of assumptions. One, Julius Randle was not going to be the person that he turned out to be this past season, and Obi was going to get substantial playing time, right? But anyone that sat down and said, I'm going to draft Obi Toppin should have also realized that Obi takes a year to get his things together, and then he starts to ascend, right? That he's done that throughout his whole basketball career, high school and college. There's no reason for me to believe it'll be different coming into the NBA. When at that level, you could be the shining star and everything that's going on, but in the NBA, there's a whole bunch of guys that's just as good, if not better than you are at the position that you play. So you have to figure out how to get your game up to par and do what you need to do. But I like how you say his name, Kispert?
Kispert, yeah, Corey Kispert.
I like him. I don't think that he'll be, and again, I guess it just depends on what team needs are, but I don't think that he's going to be available at 14. I think he's going to be off the board way before then. And then the guys that we're not talking about right now are going to drop, and that's going to shake up the whole NBA draft. Because if I'm looking at, so say for instance, just for argument's sake, say for instance, Bouknight is still available at 20. Who you think I'm about to draft? I'm about to go get James Bouknight. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to get him. I don't care what I got to do. If I've already traded down and I can pick 21, 23, and 24, I'm about to do whatever I need to do to go back up to 20 and get me a Bouknight. Because I think he has the potential to be that impactful player on our team with the proper tutelage. Because I don't expect for him to come out of college and be an automatic NBA starter. I just don't. The dudes that do that, the Ja Morants and people like that, that's a generational talent, right? Those guys just don't fall off the tree. You get somebody special when you get that kind of talent.
Yeah. There's going to be guys that's going to fall. We see that every draft, every year, guys that we thinking they're darling, and some other teams, they end up trading differently. They end up going, remember, we're talking about the players that we've seen on this side of the pond. We don't know what other teams think of these European, players, from the other leagues, and they might, for instance, Orlando always loves drafting international players, and they have 2 picks. So dare I say they go 2 international players or 1. Then now it keeps bringing the young kids that we know closer to our draft. So it's going to be interesting to see. But if there's a player, let's say 4 or 5 picks ahead of the New York Knicks that they really like, let's say, Bouknight is out there and they really like him, or let's say one of the point guards, and it's not going to happen, or Suggs, for some reason he drops a 14th or 16th or a couple picks ahead, and they see a team that might need a point guard help, and they say, Suggs is out there, I can see the Knicks jumping and trying to mortgage their draft to bring in there, because if the plan that you're bringing out, G-Man, if they do draft and move back and pick those players, then that means they ain't not going to be active in free agency at all, too much. because they're gonna bring all those 3 players in here. They you know, and granted, they're not gonna command too much of salary. I think that when we were told by Andy, I think it's like 2.2 million per player if they were to keep those draft their players. I think it's 2.2 for the 19, 2 million for the 20 something, and then of course those are not guaranteed the second round picks. If they bring them in there, they could get like 1 million, 1.2 non guarantee or 1.3 something like that. So in total, they're not going to cost too much if they stay that way. So if they do draft that way, then that means then they're not, they could still, but they gotta fill those roster spots. And where they got those rookie kids?
I was about to say that because this is my thought process, right? Right now, as currently constructed, we have 6 players on the roster, 6 players on the contract right now. So say for instance, we do whatever trades we do, and we get those 3 players that we need. So you still have to fill out those roster spots. So that's when you still have to go back into free agency and say, okay, listen, I need some vets. I need a vet at point guard to be able to mentor and groom these guys I just drafted. I need a vet at center because I just drafted a young center, and I need someone to keep Mitch grounded and help him be able to play with this additional weight that he's put on, right? So that's a whole different game. And then I need someone to take a strong forward and just kind of educate them and bring them along slowly, right? So in doing that, you also you got to have a bench. You got to have a bench. But what I'm saying is, I think that when we talk about free agency, I don't see us going out and getting all these big names, these shiny new toys that look good in the showroom window, right? And then when you get them home, it's a screw missing out, and then as soon as you touch the toy, it falls apart. I don't want that. What I want is someone that's mid-level, serviceable, and I know that I can count on them doing what I hired them to do. I don't expect them to do nothing else. And that's when I talk about we have the potential to be able to grow at the same time that we want to still be competitive in the East. And then if we do that, then moving forward, these big name guys out here that are right now, they may say, yeah, the Knicks, I see what they did last year, but I'm still not sold. That's one season. That could be a fluke. You know what I'm saying? I'm not willing to mortgage my future to say I'm going to move to New York, where they got some high taxes at. And I right now play in Florida where I have no state taxes at. So that's a life-changing event right there. If you're paying me millions of dollars, I'm not trying to give Uncle Sugar, 3/4 of that check before I even see it. Why would I do that? But I can get the same thing here. And I'm not in the mindset right now that I'm ring chasing, right? That's not my mindset. But if I'm a guy and this is how we tell when we start looking at these free agents. I'm done with this 1 year, 1 year contract. You come in, 1 year prove a deal, and the things that we gave to Burks, but I'm done with that. The dudes that we bring in, I need for them to be on a minimum 2 to 3 year contract, and that 3rd year be a team option. That way, you build continuity on this team, and you don't have these guys switching stuff out left to right. Because when you start changing up stuff every day, you don't build any continuity. If Devon called me today and said, "Hey, Sarge, this is what we're doing," and we're doing this, for the next 6 months, but then in mid-season he say, "Well, no, the guy that I had working with you, he gone. I got somebody else in here, and he got a whole nother mindset of what he wants to do." Then I got to go back to the drawing board and kind of retool to figure out how my assets and my ability can prop his stuff up, and we work together as a team. Sometimes that works. If you strike lightning in the bottle, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? The reason why I brought up that Corey CRISPR thing, because if you move Knox in a Sexton deal, there you go.
True.
Small forward can light it up. So if you move Knox, if you have to move it. If that Colin Sexton deal go through and you move Knox, then Corey CRISPR sitting there at the 14th. Well, if he there at the 14th or something, you got them 2 picks. You probably can move as a senior, been in the big game, come from a good Gonzaga's a good school, good structure there. Coach, yep. He coaching well down there. And then it's not putting the pressure on like we had to go out and develop a bunch of young guys because the cat is he done had his 4 years of college, so he's pretty ready for the NBA. So I brought that move up at the 14th because it's not a lot out there that I think down that range. Jared Butler, if he's able to get through there and do that situation in Oregon and Butler, I'm gonna say Baylor. I'm sorry, if he's there. Wagner from Michigan, what I mean, is
right.
Jalen Johnson from Duke. I don't know what these guys are gonna fall at per se, but I do like Pittsburgh though, and my man from Turkey, Sigan, he nice. He nice. So he's 6'10", power forward center. BX, he got game with him as well, and he played over in that Turkish league, so he's familiar with the grind a little bit.
One thing's going to be key with those international players, how well the Knicks investing in that international scouting. Obviously, they did something because they moved ahead of schedule to get Luka Van Dozen here. So if it pans out, they have and also Luka Van Dozen played in the EuroLeague, and he could also provide a scouting report. Say, hey, I think this player will fit what I do here. I seen him play. I heard buzz on this and that. Could it be possible that he might have a minor input in that? Who knows? Just because that could be something big to see with that. Everyone's trying to find the next Luka Doncic when it comes to international player, or there's actually Dirk Nowitzki, but Dallas happens to just step on it 2 in a row in 2 international players. Phenomenal. Orlando Magic, they struck out. Vucevic is the only one that you could say it was their golden European player, but they struck out in Hanzonia. They struck out in they have a plethora of international players that really didn't pan out for them. So when it comes to those international players, they're tricky. With them, and you really got to trust really heavily on your international scouting team. And we haven't seen anything yet from this front office in their international scouting to have confidence in if they want to go that route, in my opinion. But hey, if they bring me here, man, if they could come in here and they could come in with that European mentality, they could shoot from anywhere in the court, man. More power to it because it stretches the floor out. And if they come out here,
Yeah, I think they'd be all right. 'Cause I think one thing I can say, I don't know about this regime, but other than the Porzingis thing, but Porzingis wasn't a bad thing. He just got injured. It wasn't too much about that. He just got injured. If the man didn't get injured, that boy, he would have been on the cusp of something. But he got injured, But I like the Valdoza high. Just thinking about the people that's not from America, they went and got the Valdoza thing done. So that already tells me they're on that right track when it comes to the Knicks. Do a good well. They do pretty good well. And Scott Perry, when he first came there, one of the first things he did, he revamped that scouting department. He we're gonna go from top to bottom with you guys. I want executive scouts. I want scouts like Tom Thibodeau said he's like, we got actually right now they scouting right now while we in the playoffs. They working. And so I do agree with you, Ben. A lot of these guys, it's like anything, it's a hit and miss. But the NBA has always been pretty successful with that. I went back in the days when they had Sabonis' father, Petrovic. They had a lot of good guys come over here and ball out. Marcelonis when he could play with Golden State Warriors back in the days. And now I just think the game is so Patty Mills. I mean, Ginobili. I mean, they getting better though. That's the whole thing now because the international game going on so much now that they bringing all types of skill sets over here, man, which is good. Now you blend it in with the American basketball style, with the European basketball style. You blending all them talents together, and and that's why I do like about Luka Vandoza. You know why? The kid came over here. He got to step back, step to the side. Jay, you know what I mean? They watch these boys. Like you said, Baba Boy, Hatino Turkaloo. I agree with you on that one, absolutely. Yeah, I wish I could name all, but there's some good guys come here. So we'll see what the Knicks gonna do. But I agree with you, BX. A lot of these guys, man, they are hit and misses, man. You don't know what you're getting with these guys, man. And I did that's the roll of the dice, and so. But I think the Knicks got a pretty good scouting department going forward, and I think we're gonna be all right there. I think overall, when Leon Rose, he went and took it from the business and the professionalism of what it is to be a successful business guy. I like that, he really did. So we'll see, man. But I think and shout out to Chef New York, man. My bad, Brian. Forget to put you out there. My bad. But shout out to Chef. He in the building. The rest of the chat in the building. Baba Boy, Pud, nice everybody, man. We in here. Me and Sarge, BX. But we in a good spot, man. So I can't wait the next week when the draft get down. I just hope we come out, whether we trade them, we keep them. I know we just got to get the best talent we can get because we need talent. You know what I mean? And I think the Knicks organization, no matter which route we go with this thing, we just got to get talent, get some talent, and everything. And I think you get the talent. Tibbs will take care of that. He's a good. He know how to get these young guys want to play hard. Like I said, you get the talent, let Tibbs do the rest, then let Tibbs do the work. And I think we'd be good because it's gonna be interesting, man. But I think we either trade them, like you said, sorry, we either trade them picks. I do think from what I was hearing, like I said, that don't mean nothing because, like we said, it's all tabloid. You never know that the Knicks looking to move up with them picks. But I don't think I think we got so much young talent right now. I don't know how much more young talent we could put on this team. You know, RJ second year, Quickly first year, Obi first year, Mitchell third year, Knox third year going into his fourth. And Valdole gonna be like a rookie coming over here. So how much more? I wonder how much more young talent they're gonna want to put on this roster, especially if the only person you're moving out is Frank and Knox. I mean, you still got almost 5 or 6 guys that's not even over a 3-year contract. So it'd be interesting to see what they're gonna do with all these draft picks. They're gonna package them, move them, whatever the case may be. But I'm dying to know when it comes next week. I'm sorry, but hopefully we just get the right person in here to make it happen, though.
I agree. I agree 110%. And I think at the end of the day, somebody gonna be unhappy because we didn't draft the player that they wanted to draft. That's right. They're gonna be like, how did we miss this? And revisionist history, right? Mm-hmm. So we think about all the players we missed on, and then these guys go to other squads and they balling out. Oh, we passed on this guy for this guy right here. Okay, well, this guy right here fit the need of the team. And this guy that we passed on, I got 5 of them sitting on the bench right now. So I'm going to draft number 6. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I agree. We just got to trust in the front office. But I do think this is going to happen. Now, mark my words. You heard it here on Knicks Real Talk. First and foremost, this is what you call breaking news, inside scoop, right? I believe in my heart of hearts that whatever trade is made, there's going to be a player involved, and that player is gonna fit a need that we have on this squad. Now, it could be a Sexton trade. I'm not saying it will be, but I'm just saying this front office right here is not just going to sit down and say, yeah, well, I'll give you this pick for that pick, or let me trade you my bologna and cheese for your ham and cheese. We ain't doing that, right? I need to get your ham and cheese. And I need to get that Jell-O pudding cup that you got sitting over there to the side. I need all that. I want all that in my life right now. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, not only do I get the pick that I want, but I also get another player, another piece that's going to help me solidify my team. So when I'm going into free agency, that's one of those things I got to deal with.
Yep, absolutely.
I think we got too many picks not to make something like that happen. I'm just saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do. We're going to be willing and dealing. But that's the beautiful thing, though. We can wheel and deal, BX. We can wheel and deal. I mean, the situation we're in, we haven't had this in a long time where Knicks fans are sitting down at the draft night, even though we're not in the lottery, it's still buzzing because of what we can do and what we got a possibility to do. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to be special. I think we do that. And we keep our ears to the ground, man. Like I said, so me, I'm looking forward to the draft. I'm also looking forward to looking forward to that Colin Sexton thing. I hope that stays in the air, and I hope that's got a good chance of happening, especially with Brock Aller in our organization. Once executive in their organization got good ties there, they know the deal, and my man Obi's agent and one of the other guys, that's their agent over here. Creative sports. So it's interesting. I really want to see how that's going to get down, and they can make that happen, man. We do that. That'd be, to me, even if you roll with that, that's a way better upgrade to our team than we had last year at that point guard. And I think now you roll. If you don't do too much other than that, you made the team better. But I think there's going to be more to it than that. But I think you made the team much better by doing that. And I think that'll be good, man. As far as trade, like I said, Kelly Oubre for me. Duncan Robinson might cost a little bit too much on free agency for me, just for a shooter. And I think so. Chef NYK said, G-Man said, I want your sandwich and your Hawaiian punch. I do, though. You gotta give it up. You gotta give it up. Yeah, man. We in here, man. Go ahead, BX.
But before you go, BX, one thing
go ahead.
that I don't want to just have out there in cyberspace, what you just alluded to, relationships are very important, right? So who these guys know in business, in their personal lives, whatever case, that matters. When I pick up the phone, I call Divine and say, hey, Divine, check this out, man. I got this business opportunity, and I think that BX Jedi will be a great fit, right? What are your thoughts? So I'm basing my decision on hiring BX from the information I get from Divine.
Right.
So that tells me if I'm going to put him at the top of the tier or mid-level and then have him grow. You know what I'm saying? So if Divine says BX is that guy, that's that dude, he's going to take you to the next level of where you want to be. I know right then I can't go in and lowball this dude because I'm not the only person looking at it. If he's got that kind of clout and that kind of credibility, right? So I have to come in with top of the line deal and be like, look, dude, this is what I'm willing to offer you right now. I don't know what other people are offering you. Now we have room to wiggle. If there's some other things that you may need to increase your interest in coming to work for this organization, we can have that discussion. But at the foundation of this offer is this right here, and we can work from there. Relationships are important. I'm sorry, BX. I ain't mean to interrupt.
No, I'm glad. No, I'm glad you actually went with that analogy because I'm going to bring to a point because when you said about that, I like to change. I like my front office when you're going to meet a free agent and you're going to have a meeting and you're going to have Leon Rose, Warrai West, Tom Thibodeau, and maybe Steve Stout, whoever that case, into a meeting with this potential free agency, not just this year, but the following year when all the big horses are out. Because I think these guys, they could close the show. They could close it. They could get it done. I don't even think James Dolan needs to even be there. They don't have to. Now compare that to when you had to go in a meeting with Steve Mills, James Dolan, Scott Perry, or no disrespect to Scott Perry, but he was new, and Phil Jackson, going in there. But Steve Mills and the owner Dolan had that negative reputation, and going into the meetings, people were like, "Oh yeah, we have a meeting." Then on the last hour, I canceled. I took another offer. Meeting never got to the meeting.
Exactly.
But now we got some real respectable caliber men that will get into that room, and my point is, it's gonna be difficult for a lot of these free agents to say no to the Knicks offers. They're gonna put that offer, they're gonna put everything on the table, this is what it is, and I like my chances these guys to close out anyone they desire that they want to bring in to improve the team. Like you said, with that bet offer, I think you know what, I feel good going into free agency and moving forward with this front office.
What's important, what you just said also is this. The way that we deal with these free agents this year is going to be monumental in what we do moving forward because players talk. You know what I'm saying? If I come into this organization and I'd be like, well, look, there were some concessions made on my part, but the team was also able to willing to make these concessions to get me on the roster, and they're treating me good while I was here. Because at the end of the day, when you go to work, you don't want to be bullied. You don't want to be belittled. You want you want your worth, right? You want to get paid for what you're worth, but you also want a good working environment. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to come into a hostile work environment every day. You're not going to be happy. So if they're able to build that foundation moving forward, when we start talking about free agents this time next year, it's going to be a whole different conversation. Now the conversation we have is going to be this: we're not here chasing players. We having to have people on call waiting and be like, hold up, I can't talk to you right now because I'm talking to this agent's player this player's agent right now. You know what I'm saying? And seeing what that availability is. And I think that's important moving forward. So not only does the basketball team that's on the court need to develop, that front office need to develop, and then the NBA needs to see the development of the front office, which opens up windows for people that want to come play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they have done that too. Good take. I think they have done that. Think about this here, and other than this year, because only thing changed this year with Leon Rose coming in is Alec Burks wasn't here last year. Other than our rookies who we drafted, everybody on that team, other than Frank Scott Perry, bought here.
That's important.
You know what I mean? Think about it. The Knicks, he bought Julius Randle here. So despite what people, because nowadays, I notice everybody all they say is Leon Rose
They
and
forget about
West.
Yep.
And they forgetting what Scott Perry did for this organization. You know what I mean?
Point.
I'm like, y'all got this kid got rid of Porzingis. And I'm glad he did because we got that money still, and we got 2 firsts for him. And we got Derrick Rose for him. Because Derrick Rose was part of the Dennis Smith deal. And we bought Mitchell Robinson in here, a 2nd-round kid, man, young coming up. We got Obi, we got Mitch, we got RJ, we got Quickly, we got Valdoza, we got, he bought in some guys here, man. You know what I mean? And he made a lot. That's why my man left him around. Because think about it, when Leon Rose came in, they could have said, you know what? I don't need you. He said, nah, I need you here. I need you here. You know what I mean? And look what this man has done since he's been here. 7 first-round draft picks in the next 4 years. Almost 50-something million in capital, talent, and we in a good spot. This was his doing. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel comfortable about where the Knicks is going this year. I'm not too concerned. I think they retained Scott Perry. I think his contract was up in May or something, right? So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? So I think they keep the infrastructure together. Go out there and get that one guy at the point guard spot and see if you get somebody to 3, whether it's through the draft or something like that, and take one step at a time. We could just get this one. We could hit on this year right here with this team getting to the first round. If we can get to that 2nd round.
Not only that, Devon, with that, they could if they're sending a message because they didn't trade away or started undoing Scott Perry's body of work. They kept these players. They didn't trade in the trade deadline. Now coming forward, they're resigning. They want to resign a Julius Randle, someone that Scott Perry brought in. They want to keep players that was drafted like RJ Barrett, and showing that this front office will support something that they're trying to build on. They're not coming in, breaking everything up, starting to build again, and nobody wants to come back to something that's building again with no foundation. Leon Rose is trying to say there is a foundation here already established by Perry. I'm just going to continue building on the foundation from Scott Perry. And other players see that. There's now stability in the Knicks organization because they kept Perry, they kept building, they bought young players. They're treating Julius Randle great because before it was like, oh, they treat their stars terrible or disrespectful, but they see how Julius Randle's become the darling of the franchise and all that, and how he's now king of New York, let's say, and other players see that. Oh, they're changing. The narrative has changed because look at the way, not just by the results on the court, but outside the court. Julius Randle is a toast, and the ESPYs, they love him. They see him everywhere. And I know we're not going to talk about outside stuff. Who cares about all that outside noise? But other players see that, though. They view that, they see that, and that's changed so much for the New York Knicks organization going forward that you gotta feel giddy about that, if anything, at all, because now that their reputation changing, they've seen something different.
What Jedi, what BX Sports Jedi just told you, that's not a Jedi mind trick, ladies and gentlemen. He dropping knowledge right now. You know what I'm saying? So, as passionate as we are about the Knicks, I need for us to start viewing, especially in the off season, right, or the business season as we call it right now. Don't think about that whatever we accomplished last year, we did that. I'm not saying that we need to, go in and just upset the apple cart and just start from scratch. We got some foundational pieces that if we're patient and we put those mentors around these young guys, man, we could be great for a long time. And that's kind of where I want to see us go.
Salute to my main man, Garden of Knicks podcast. Salute, man. I'm glad you came in.
Yeah, salute, my brother. Yo, man, y'all know what it is, man. Like, subscribe, run them up, put the thumbs up. Me and Sard and BX Sports Jedi in here, man. We talking Knicks. About to keep getting into it for a little while. Then we're going to go on for a little longer. Then we're going to get off. But, man, it's been fun. It's beautiful. Keep coming in with your thoughts. You want to chime on, you already know, man. The link is always in the chat. To the chat where it's at, Chef New York, Pudge Nice, everybody, Baba Booey, man, everybody who chimed in today, man, checking us out. all the regulars and everybody. Lionel Williams coming in the building, man. Salute to you. Chris was in the building, but salute to everybody, man. Knicks Real Talk, we in here. D. Ross, aka Dave Jackson. We know how we do there, man. Allah Wise, Peace God, all y'all, man. Just keep doing it, man. Keep bringing it on in there. We're gonna keep getting it for a little while longer. But I do like where we at, man. It's a beautiful thing to be right now, the Knicks fan, man. I'm just looking for it. I'm just looking for a couple of trades that's gonna get us in that first round and go a little further without mortgaging the whole farm, man. So hopefully, we just do the right thing and keep maintaining, man, and just keep building this thing, man. You know, Rome wasn't built in one day, like I always say. You know, it takes time, man. The maturation, just like Knicks Real Talk show. I'm in my rookie season. It's a maturation. I get more and more better the years go. I'm like a rookie in the NBA. You know, this is a maturation process for me, but I know I'm going to elevate myself. We're going to get better, and that's what the Knicks doing. You know what I mean? And all these great players around me right here in front of me, Bronx Jedi and Sarge. You know, we good. You know, we good, man, for sure. So we just got to keep it moving, man. Knicks Real Talk, y'all hit him up, man. But listen, man, I'm ready. I'm ready with the Sexton thing. I'm not interested in the little thing. I'll be honest with you. I like the Uber. I like the John. I really like that Jonathan Isaac and Terrence Ross thing. The Knicks need to make that happen. Bring John. Check that out. This is what I call a successful offseason to me. Check this out. Colin Sexton, Jonathan Isaac, and Terrence Ross.
What you giving up?
Well, for Sexton, I give you 2 firsts. 2 first ones for Sexton. They can get with them. And if you can hold on to one to get another 30 seconds or something like that, okay, that's fine too. I don't know if you're going to be able to fleece him, but I wouldn't have no problem with the 2 firsts for Colin Sexton. I think he's that good. Terrence Ross and Jonathan Isaac. Wow. That's tough because we got to deal with salaries. And Jonathan Isaac, he just got extended before he got hurt.
Yep.
I think that was like 4 years, 80 million, something like that. Terrence Ross making 13. Frank Knox, that's 14 million. I mean 12, let's say 12 million probably. I don't know if you still could do the guys that's on the books now until July when it's if they want because they might want to and throwing 2 firsts down the line because I do think Jonathan Isaac is worth the money. So I mean I think he's worth 2 firsts. He's that good. I like his game, you know. But yeah, it would have to be the 2 firsts for Sexton, Knox, Frank. If it's somebody that I'm missing, y'all chime in and let me know. I'm just trying to get the salaries together, and you're gonna have to throw in some of them future first round picks for. Cause I know Orlando's in a rebuild mode, so
Right.
so they're gonna have to throw in a couple of firsts, a couple of seconds. So even if you do that, you wind up giving up 4 draft picks for them 3 players, and some salary cap matches. That's not a bad move, man, because you can wind up getting 4 draft picks in 1 trade. You know what I mean? Depending on who you're going after. So it won't, you're getting 3 guys, one scoring 20, 24 game last year. One of them can get you buckets on any given night off the bench. And Jonathan Isaac, before he went down, his defensive prowess was lethal. He was getting nice with his game. It would be interesting, man. It really would, for sure.
Yeah, because Terrence Ross is the throw-in. Terrence Ross is the cap relief for the Orlando Magic. That's why they're not going to give him away right now for anything either. But if you're going to make a trade with the Magic and they say you want to poach Isaac, one of my best players, or because then you're going to have to take and eat Ross's contract with it. I mean, you have to take him off our hands to get relief. So that's why he's part of the deal with the Knicks. I proposed that earlier, and you have to get involved with 3rd team. You have to get Dallas Mavericks involved and send Porzingis to Dallas. We get Isaac and Ross, and we end up losing Knox. Knox goes to Orlando, Porzingis to Orlando. Frank Ntilikina goes to Dallas. Orlando sends their 7th pick along with to Orlando. Dallas ends up with money relief. They get Frank Ntilikina, some draft picks, Mitchell Robinson, and possible, someone else off our team, or maybe someone off your Magic that they could use their help because Dallas wants to have money on their cap because they want to sign some players with Luka. They think they have a kind of a New York type of dream that Kawhi Leonard might be ready for them to go to Dallas. He might come free. So they're thinking that there. So who knows what could happen there.
You got to remember the Mavericks got a new head coach.
Yeah, Jason Kidd, and
So, but I think any of these trades that we're talking about right now, I think that although these draft picks are important, if you call me right now and said I want to, you want whoever my, I'm not even gonna say he's my franchise player, but that the dude that's second to that star, right? I'm not giving up that dude. I'm not giving up my second tier player, my second tier star, without getting something back in return. So the first two names we got to talk about starting off for me to even answer the phone is going to be Emmanuel Quickly and Obi Toppin. I'm not crazy enough to think that you're going to give up R.J. Barrett because that dude is a cornerstone piece for your franchise, right? But those two guys I just named, they're rookies. They're on 1 year deals. They only play for you 1 year. They haven't been here long enough to make that big of impact that you want to fight me on this. But look what you're getting. Take the Sexton trade, right? Sexton trade says, okay, I'll take those 2 first-round draft picks, but I want those 2 first-round draft picks, and I want Obi Toppin. So that's where we start the conversation at. Because what I'm giving up in athleticism, someone that can create his own shot, I need some of that athleticism back, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think that when we start talking about trade, we have to be open to the fact that who we think our roster will be if we can get this piece, that's not going to be our roster because they're going to want the same amount of pieces, something in return as what you're getting. That how you value that player, they want to be able to value that pick because I'm telling you right now, if somebody was to sit here and say, I would trade you Sexton for 2 first-round picks and Kevin Knox, you're fired. I'm the owner. I'm calling you from the Cayman Islands. You pack your stuff up. I don't want you in the building when I get back. You are fired. I'm telling you. We're not doing that. We're gonna have to give a little to get a little. That's why I say I trust this front office in being able to evaluate the talent that's currently on the squad, know what their value is in a trade scenario, and if that scenario is going to help us improve the team overall.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Do you think Knox 2 firsts and Frank get it done?
No. No. And I'm gonna tell you why. What has Kevin Knox and Frank Ntilikina done for the team to say, okay, well, I'm willing to give up this guy, this Sexton dude that creates his own shot, gives me 24 points a game, and does all these things for 2 guys through the whole season that played, if you combine their minutes, what, less than 60 for the game, and how they're getting their shine right now it's not equated to what they did for the Knicks. They're getting their shine right now for what they're doing in the Olympics, not the NBA. So if I'm a scout, I don't, you have a great Olympic game, fine, I'm good. What have you done in the NBA? Because those dudes you're playing against in the Olympics, those are not these real basketball players we talking about here. These are the best players in the world. You know what I'm saying? So I need for apples to be apples and oranges to be oranges. So when we have this conversation, when you talk about a Frank Ntilikina or Kevin Knox and these 2 first-round draft picks, it's got to be a mid-tier player that we're talking about. It can't be a Sexton, not for me.
I bring that up. It's interesting why I bring that up because Knox and Frank, them inspired us. Well, you can't really trade Frank because he's a restricted free agent. So I don't know why you put that in there. That's my bad. But in that case, if that was the case, the Knox and Obi thing and 2 first rounds this year, I think they do that. Here's why. Obi's the young, because he's the young in the center. Knox money will be off the books. Mm-hmm. And you got 2 first round picks where you might can move up with the one you got and go get your cornerstone and Suggs. Or whoever, somebody to add to your cornerstone with Okoro.
Right.
Because I bring the Obi thing because they could have drafted Obi last year. They had a chance to get Obi before the Knicks even got him.
Right.
Right. So I'm like, well, why would they want Obi? They could have drafted him. Or maybe they was really torn on. They really wanted Obi, but they felt like Okoro was a better need. Now that could be a case too. But now that they got an opportunity to get him, because what I'm thinking is that they have to look at it from this standpoint too. They're not going to get the creme de la creme when they know that he's on expiring. because he only got 1 more year left on that deal. Kyle said, we're going to have to stretch him out, max him. They also can't get to what they think they're going to get because you either you take this or you keep Sexton and you sign him for 140 million. So I think they gotta look at it from this point. You're not going to get a talent like him. That's the case you should keep him because he's on he's about to expire. So that's what makes me wonder if they just had to kind of get kibbles and bits. If you want to move him, you ain't gonna get nobody. A team not gonna give you a player if they don't know Sexton's gonna sign with you.
Yeah, that's important. What you just said just now is very important because I'm not about to trade the farm to a dude who's gonna be here for a year and then be looking for another job.
Right. And that's what Cleveland had to see. Cleveland had to be like, we're gonna have to get what we can get from him. We're gonna lose him for nothing. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a game of chess. And right now if they want to wheel him, they probably just want to get rid of him so they do not have to give that man that max deal. They're like, we ain't got it like that. So so I do think there is a little play when it comes to lesser talent, maybe only for that reason. So I agree with you 100%. For somebody like Sexton, you're gonna have to get a good player. But I think only because the salary issue when he get, who gonna come there if Sexton's not gonna sign with that team who they give him to, then I don't think they're gonna give up one of their better players. But I do like that trade, Knox, Novell, and a pick. I think you get it done because you only need $6 million. I think it can get done. I really think that's going to be interesting, man. I'm glad that he brought that back up, and the chat came back up here on that as well.
But remember, Jared Allen is a free agent for the Cavaliers.
Right.
They pay him money.
Right.
Then Sexton again. And if they're looking for another first rounder, especially in the slot that the Knicks are picking, the salary cap on that is $2 million, 2.5. Thank you to Andy who broke it down for us the other program. So that's the higher you pick in the draft, the more money you have to pay that rookie for that. So that's why Sexton might not be too far-fetched of a player to obtain because of we're giving up our first round. Because even if we get both of them, that's only $4 million a year for those. Let's say they pick the 19th and the 21st. And they're only going to pay $4 to compare to what they have to pay Sexton. So and then they could get a Kevin Knox to see if he could find it or turn it on in Cleveland for another year. If not, he leaves, and you only committed $4 million for the Cleveland books. And you might, and if you want to throw him a future 2020-24 pick, go ahead because we're going to be good by then anyway. That's going to be another high pick. I'm okay if they want to give up another first round later in the future, 2024, 2025. I'm okay with it because we're going to get a caliber player of a Sexton in there. So maybe it might, I see also your point, the other side of the coin, because he's a hell of a player, and we want to give, with that tomahawk steak, we want to put, French fries when we really got to put a nice, gourmet mashed potatoes around it. You know what I'm saying? Something nice. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead, Sarge.
Something that Devon said earlier just kind of came back to me, right? It's like that boomerang when you throw it out there, it come back. And if you don't catch it, it'll take your head off. I'm telling you right now. So when we talked about Kevin Knox and why he's still on this team, who drafted Kevin Knox?
Perry.
Right.
Who drafted Kevin Knox?
Yeah. So that was that Perry organization when Perry was in the front office.
Yeah, right. He came at the Phil Jackson, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, and they drafted Knox.
So Knox is still on the team, right? So what you don't want to do if you're an executive in the front office, you do not want somebody to come back and say that dude that you drafted is a bust. So now I got to figure out if you know what you're talking about when you start talking to me about these players. I'm guessing. I'm second guessing what your thought process is, and I say all that to say this: Obi was drafted by who?
The Rose Camp. And
Rose.
Yes. So I am a firm believer right now. I'm telling you right now, Obi Toppin is not going anyplace. Not this year. Not this year, because he has not had a chance to prove himself as to what he can produce for the Knicks. Now, what the Knicks have to do is figure out how Obi Toppin and Julius Randle coexist with Obi Toppin getting major minutes. Same thing with quickly. They're going to want to see these two guys produce this season. And I think that the way that they build this season is going to be central around that thought process right there. To how you got to build around these guys. So Julius Randle, what you don't want Julius Randle to have to do next year, you don't want Julius Randle to be a point forward. You don't. You want Julius Randle to play his position. You want him to be able to catch and shoot, post up, whatever it is that he needs to do. That's the role you want him to play. That helps, that helps lengthen his playing career because he's not doing so much. It also, you can limit the amount of minutes that he plays because you have pieces around him that can contribute. You have shooters around him that can contribute. You have guys around him that can create their own shot. That's how you build the team. Now, Julius Randle then becomes that break glass in case of emergency type person, right? He's gonna get his, but if I get in a bad way, then I know Julius Randle can go get me a bucket. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I look at this thing. But for a Sexton trade, I don't know what that looks like. I would love to have Sexton. I think that if we can get him, he would definitely be a piece that we can build around. But in doing so, I also say I still want that vet point guard. You know what I'm saying? I still want that vet presence on the team that can have guys in the right mindset of, when I'm down by 14, what do I need to do to come back?
Derrick Rose.
And there it is. There it is right there. There it is.
Rose. Yeah, that's why I said you can get both of them. You trade for him and re-sign Derrick Rose. Knicks is good there. They good there. I mean, I think you can get Derrick Rose for 2 years, $20 million.
I think this is what I think is going to happen with Derrick Rose. And again, this is breaking news, right? You heard it here on the most dynamic podcast there is in Pod Universe, right? This is what I'm going to tell you. Derrick Rose will re-sign with the New York Knicks. And what's going to end up happening at the end of his contract when he's ready to retire, he'll go sign a one-day contract with the Bulls, and he will retire a Chicago Bull. That's what's going to happen.
Yo, salute to my man Camilio and King J. We see y'all up in here. Salute to y'all for chiming in. Y'all already know what it is. 19 Con back in the building. Frank Mott told you already know what it is. Salute to the whole chat, man. Y'all already know. Everybody out there on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Yo, man, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Get this great content from me and Bronx Sports Jedi and Sard. We in the building today on a Sunday, man. Night just talking Knicks, man. You already know what it is. And we doing it, man. So salute to the chat. That's where it's at. You already know. But yeah, man, I think you get that situation filled with that point guard situation, then you move on over to that small forward. 19 Con, that trade you got in there with let me throw that back out there. That's interesting. Trade both Dallas first rounders and a 32nd for Mitch, Obi, Luka for Isaac and Terrence. You might have to jump on that, bro. That's crazy. I just think that Jonathan Isaac is special. Oh my God, I think that young man is special. And I think before he got injured, he was on the cusp of doing his thing. You know what I mean? So if he could get that reform back, come back to form rather, that's interesting. You know, like I said, Terrence Ross gets buckets. I mean, that's straight up and down. So he's like another Alex Burks to me. You know what I mean? He pretty much get from him what you get from Alex Burks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and Tyus Ross will light him up.
Let me ask this. If we don't get Ross, Orlando wants to get rid of Ross no matter what. They want to get rid of that contract. But if we end up, instead of Ross, Isaac and Mark Fultz for all those for those players there, would you think about Marquise Fultz coming to the Knicks instead of Terrence Ross? Because you can always flip Marquise Fultz. Also.
Yeah, absolutely. He just signed. His floor game in the open court is nice. That shooting scares me though.
I think about it. At the end of the day, I think that again the front office is showing me a couple things that we can't forget, right? So think about at the free agency, how did Pell get on this team? How did Novell Pell end up being a New York Knicks? When you think about that trade we made with Philly. So we had two people that Philly throughout the trade we got to play for the Knicks, three-team trade, right? We got these players on the Knicks. They were a part of the New York Knicks for about 22 hours, and then they were gone. They were doing something else, right? So I think if we get these other teams involved to offset some of the things that these teams are going to be asking for to get these players, whether it's if they need to free up, if they need to get rid of bad contracts, if they have a bad actor in their locker room they're trying to move, or whatever the case may be, there are avenues out there for us to consider. But however, at the same time, and I don't think this front office is going to do this, we don't waver from what's in the best interest of the Knicks. We bring a Nova Appel in because Taj Gibson was getting beat down in the paint when you're playing against somebody that's 7 feet tall. He was getting used and abused. Mitch is out, and Noel is fragile at the basket. Now he don't get me wrong, he's a rim protector, but I need you to rim protect, and I need you to give me some offensive rebounds. You know what I'm saying? That's what I need from you. You did one thing well. The other thing you fell miserably at, right? I need them both. I'm greedy. I want both. So I need to go get me somebody that can get me both. Or when you get in foul trouble, then I have somebody I can bring off the bench and then not lose a whole bunch of momentum. Because Taj Gibson gets in foul trouble when he's out there playing against seven foot centers, right? You can put a body on a 6'10", 6'11" guy that's playing the foul position. But 7'2"? Come on, dude. All they got to do is hold the ball up here. And what you going to do? You'll be like a little kid. Look, you play with your little kid, say, get the ball. They just jumping up. Stop playing with me right now. But I believe in what we have moving forward. And to Divine and BX's point, I'm looking forward to this draft. Because I'm telling you right now, in the draft, it's not just going to be the draft, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. It's going to be some moves made. That's how the Knicks operate. It's going to be some moves made, and then it's going to have y'all scratching your head. So when the first move is made, don't get upset. If it's not the person that you want, don't get upset. Understand that's the first. We're playing chess, not checkers. So the first move, you know what I'm saying, is putting your pawn out there and see who bites. Yes, so when the pawn goes out there and somebody bites, I'm like, oh, I got you. You blink first. I got you. So now I know what I need to do. So I'm going to lowball you at first to see how serious you are. Now, if you come back and say, well, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I want to entertain this right here, then I know I got you for real. I got you locked, stock, and barrel. I'm about to fleece you for everything that you got going on, because not only have I already talked to the agent for the player that we're talking about, we already had about 4 or 5 conversations. I know what the player is willing to accept. I know how much money I got to spend, and I know he's unhappy with your organization. Those 3 things right there, if I'm an opposing
organization, yeah. Did we freeze?
Yeah, he did real quick. He froze. Yeah, we get back to Sard.
Look at that smile on your mama. Look at that smile on your mama will love.
Yo, Camilio, that's a good question. Right. Yeah, that's a good commercial, Camilio. That is, you know, I think it's going to be on draft night, Camilio. That I think unless they need them 2 draft picks to do something on draft night, Camilio, if they say we're going to give them 2 first-round picks for Sexton and the Knicks they agree to that, I think they probably want to get it done before the draft night so they can see if they can maneuver them 2 draft picks with their 4th pick and make some moves somewhere else as well. But if it happened before the draft, I'm not mad because that really is out of our control with that for with who they draft. But I could see them wanting to do it before draft night so they can know that they do have them 2 picks to have enough time to get their thoughts together on how they want to maneuver if they're not already thinking about that already, Camilo. That was a good question too. Appreciate that.
No, that was a good one. I think it happens draft night, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think it happens draft night because now they know that they could, they're able to pick or say, listen, we'll do the deal. Your pick is up. Let's do the trade. Let's see comments. 19 row. 3-team trade on draft night. Knicks, Cavs, and the Magics. It could happen. It could happen. Don't a team. Here's a sleeper team that could happen. That I don't know. I don't know what's involved, but I think that team might be involved some way, somehow, maybe moving, swapping picks or whatever the case. Don't fall asleep on Sacramento Kings.
Yep.
There might be. They could be some team that that we know when they're not the names that we normally listen to or we brought up, but you'll never know. They might want to do something in that stratosphere with the Knicks. or
Rockets.
Rockets, or we stand pat, Divine. If we're standing pat, and let's say the 21st or 19th, we could see a Utah Jazz call the Knicks and trying to swap with the Knicks and send some type of player either for cap relief for the Knicks to take, and they could like also waive, and they could pick up, move back, pick up more cap relief. They could waive the player, whatever, for future pick in maybe a 2024 or 2023 first rounder. Those type of moves I can see as well happening down the road.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because that sets both of them teams up real well. Actually, that's a good move, good call, BX, because they don't need they not interested in no draft pick right now. You know what I mean? So they use, like I said, by 24 or 25, because they ain't won a championship by then, they're gonna go for the rebuild anyway. You know what I mean? So they do have that future pick in their hand by them doing that. Yeah, I agree with that one. That's a good call. Let me hit 19. The first thing we do is grab the 23 and 24 from Houston for the 19th to 58 and the 2023 second rounder. I can see that very well, 19 comment. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And especially if there's some type of players that they coveted that could still be at 23 and 24, that makes sense too, because they could also, now they're gaining, they're becoming more gain, and also the cap ramification is not going to be as much as 19 and 20 as 19 and 21st, 23 and 24. I think it'll be almost around the same, but it'll probably be 2.1 to 1.9 or some of those aspects like that. So you never know if they want to also try to save money and still get players that they're really coveted or they scouted very well going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Camilio, with that, the Spurs, do you think the Spurs actually going to go in a rebuild mode? And if you do, what do you think about that, Dante Murray?
I like that. You know me, I like him.
Yeah, I like his game too. And yeah, Camilio, because to me, if Spurs do go in rebuild mode, they unloading him because they ain't going to sign him for that money. He's about to do a lot of these guys who get ready to come up for this fourth year. I mean, the extension, you're going to see a lot of them move, BX.
But with San Antonio, Divine, I could see them giving them the money because that's not a location that the marquee free agents are going to flock to. It's not like so. I can see them re-upping their own guys because, I would. Yeah, I'm with you, Camilio. I would love him on this team. Pick him up as well. But remember, San Antonio could pay him more. And one thing is, if he does take that money, he goes, but it's New York. Yeah, but he'll make even more money even if he stays there because the tax ramifications. Remember, San Antonio is no federal state tax that is paid. No state tax in that state of Texas. So they could keep their $1 million. They keep more of their millions if they come up to play for New York. So that's another thing that unfortunately it's hindering the free agent market and the business part of free agents in the NBA going forward with that. So I would love for him to come. I would love for the Knicks to pull the trigger and try to get a guy like that. Any one of those. I think both of their big stars in San Antonio, they said they were on the market or available or feelers out there for them. But it will behoove the San Antonio Spurs to, if they have all-star talent like that, to want to move them. Unless if the players themselves express that they don't want to be in that city or in that organization, or they just want to come with a full rebuild. So who knows with that? But it will behoove them to trade them. They got to give them their players their back.
Yeah, could I read what I've noticed about that? Because you do have Lonnie Walker Jr. there now. He's going to growing up through the organization. You got was it White down there. I think they got a bunch of young talent down there, and maybe they he on the cusp of doing something that might not fit the timeline. And Greg Popovich don't be around too much longer.
No, I don't think so either.
You know what I mean? What do they do in San Antonio, and how would they go about that? Because they probably would be like, you know what? Well, we might have to give Becky Hammond the string, but give her a young team so she could develop them. You know what I mean? If that's the case. So that's interesting to see, man. But that's a good one, Camilo. I love him too, man. I think his length. I like his game. I think he fits that type of play that we do, and he got coached by Pop too. Pop and Tom Thibodeau, U.S. team coaches, not respect for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got a lot of respect for each other, and they come. And what's important, they come from good cultures. I mean, that's a culture down there. You know what I mean? And I think that's so important that they come from good cultures, and he's able to come here and he will respect what Tom Thibodeau want him to do. You know what I mean? because he come from a culture where the coach demand respect, the organization demand respect. So that was a good one, Camilio. I definitely will. Knowing that they on a rebuild, I would look into that as well. But between him and Colin Sexton, you can't go wrong. There's some good moves out there for New York, man. We just got to make sure that we in there and we can pull this thing off. And if we do, I think we'd be in a good spot. But I do like that 3-team trade. And Comment was like, listen, we would have had a 21st, 23, 24th, and a 32nd. Boy, that's saying something right there. That's a good spot to be in. So I think we're gonna be willing and dealing guys on a draft night. We got some good things that can happen for the Knicks. I hope that we want to see what's going on with that section trade before we get here, before the draft get here. Like BA said, are they going to do it on draft night? Either or, if it get done, and if it's realistic. But if it's realistic, I definitely would look into that. Do the Murray thing. I like that. Like I said, then we find a couple of free agents to fill in, get a good guy coming out of college who we think that can make. If you're going to draft pretty high, the guy got to make an impact. Like I said to you earlier, with all of the young guys that we have now, unless we're going to wheel and deal some of them guys for veterans, like Terrence Ross and the Jonathan Isaacs of the world, then I don't know what we're going to do with all these young guys, especially when we're fighting for the playoff. You need experience. That's the reason why you look at today, you look at that Milwaukee game. Look what's winning that game. Experience. You look at that opposed to Phoenix. Chris Paul, Devin Booker's coming into his own, but he ain't been in the league that long. But you look at Antetokounmpo, you look at Chris Middleton, you look at PJ Tucker, Brook Lopez. These guys been around already. What's his name? The point guard, Holiday. They veterans. They've been around. They know the game. And I'm wondering if the Knicks gonna, when they start moving forward to start going to the playoffs, how many young guys are going to around? Because you think about it, like that whole team right now, like I said earlier, RJ, Obi, Quickly. Who else we got there? That's considered young. Mitch. Well, those are 25. He's fairly young.
He fits it.
He fits it. Yeah, he fits it. And you got Knox there.
Even Randall. Even Randall.
20, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have you don't have not too many old veterans other than Todd and now Derrick Rose, Alex Burks, and Bullock. They veterans, but I don't know if they're going to be on that team next year. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, how many young guys come to that team this year, opposed to us wheeling and dealing to get a set player like Colin Sexton? You know what I mean? So that's what's interesting to see.
Yeah, that's absolutely. They all fit the timeline. That's why I kind of want to stay younger with good talent, so they could continue using their athleticism. Let's say non salary cap or in. Let's say you run these guys for the next 10 years, they'll still be under 30. They'll be 35 to 36 average if you bring these teams back in a 10-year run. That's why, it'd be nice. No, of course, no one plays that long in the NBA or, things happen, injuries, so forth, X, Y, Z. But just imagine in a perfect world, you could bring them back for a 10-year run and they develop that chemistry, that camaraderie, and they played as a team with that youth. There'd still be a youthful team at 35 with experience, and doing things and playing together. So, I know it's not going to happen because it's a business. Guys get more money. It's a salary cap league and so forth. So guys move on, change the scenery, so forth, so forth. But that's why it behooves the Knicks to bring young talent around them. I know you still need the veterans because veterans are very useful and impactful. Look at example, Phoenix Suns with Chris Paul. You could go on and on with the impact of the veterans. We've seen it ourselves firsthand with a Taj Gibson and so forth. So we'd like to get the right veterans in here to help out or even to prove it or have something that could give you that experience, that wisdom to help these younger guys take their game to the next level of excellence. Like I know you said, Divine, before. How would you like to see Carmelo Anthony work with the footwork and the jab movement with an Obi Toppin? Those type of deals, those type of veterans. Guaranteed that experience of Taj Gibson banging in the paint and playing those key roles with help maybe Nolan Noel understand Tom Thibodeau's coaching philosophy and what he expects from on his defense rotation or the defensive assignment. That might have helped Nolan Noel in going forward. There's a lot of different things that we take for granted that we don't know behind the scenes of bringing these veterans in here. But you don't want to be too veteran sap because it just takes away from. It's an athletic league. The guys are quicker, faster, and and Camilo. I don't think Nolan Zuel will not be back. I think, and not because the Knicks don't want him. I think he might be getting more money for his good season, and I think the investment that the Knicks is going to require to keep him, it might be a little bit too rich for the Knicks to keep him bringing back going forward. Because you really can't bring no on a 1 year deal. You really got to give him something stable. I mean, he's at his age. He wants something stability. He wants to be somewhere for the next 2 to 3 years. Even despite the fact for 30 million for the next 3 years, that's something that he would like to get. So who knows? With that, if we could get him back at 5 again, it'll be great. But it's going to be hard to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because we in a good spot with that. But yeah, that is a little. I think Noel going to get I think he's going to get a double digit for somebody else. I do think he got a chance to go to Dallas. They familiar with him. He's been there before. I can see him going back to Dallas for sure. Or something like that, because I think he helped them guys out real well down there, and so we have to see how that goes.
Right.
Yep. But I do like he said he's only 27.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Noel's 27. He's still young too, but he's been giving us so many issues with his knees, and he's been so There was time this season that we thought would he survive? I mean, if Mitchell Robinson was active and playing, and they were not get injured, I think Nolan Zoral would have missed some time in the regular season with certain bangs up, and he gutted it out. He went out there, but I think that's why I'm a little bit skeptic to give Noel a long-term deal because of his knees and his body. Can it hold up? Remember, it was only a 72-game season, despite the fact it was condensed and it was compressed. But now this year it's back to 82 again. And you're gonna have the normal, and it's gonna be a little longer, and they got to get ready. So it's gonna be tough to I wish him luck. I would love him to come back, but at the Knicks number, not to hurt him going there on that. There's a new comment there from Joe Maiden.
Yeah. Joe, salute Joe, salute my brother. Joe said we trade up for Bognight or we stay put and take Cooper. People sleeping on Cooper. His passing is elite. Out 4 shooters around him and be an author. I got you, Joe. Salute to my brother Joe Madden. You already know what it is. Irish Joe in the building. Yeah, man. You can't go wrong with that neither. I agree with that 100%. You cannot go wrong with that. Like I said, it's a lot of interesting stuff out there, man. And but we definitely in a good place no matter what. We got enough assets to wheel and deal. I mean, we got enough draft picks to wheel and deal to move higher. You talk about throwing all 4. If you really wanted somebody you truly wanted, you got 4 draft picks you could throw at for one person. You know what I mean? If you wanted to. So it's really interesting to see how that's going to pan out. Yep, I agree with you on 19. He's going to get at least 12 to 15, man. So I think
way too much.
Yeah, way too much. Because you eating into the salary cap when you can get a player who could do it Noel in the draft and stash him. You know what I mean? Or you just keep Noel Pell. Keep Noel Pell. Let him be the backup to Mitchell Robinson, or let you trade one of them two. No matter what, you can either keep Mitch at 1.8, or you can keep Noel Pell at 1 point something. you know what I mean? So, and I think Mitch is a better offense rebounder, like I said. And if he come back, he still get up in the air, getting them oops and everything. And I think he's gonna do that. Then I think you get the block shots, you get the rebounding, more bigger, and he covered that. He roamed that 3-point line even on the defense. So. Hopefully Mitch and think about this here too, guys. Mitch is about to be playing for a contract. He gonna get busy. Mitch is in a contract year pretty much. I gotta support my family. Yo, he gonna run amok. Yo, watch what I'm telling y'all. Salute to the Smoking Nick. We see my brother. Salute to you.
Salute, man.
Salute. Yeah, I think he's on a contract year coming up. He been playing on $1.8 million, $5 million for 4. He ready to get paid. That dude gonna be a monster next year. Watch what I'm telling you. Because when you trying to get, he been in the league. What, this will be his 3rd year, and you know what? And he only 22, 23 years old. And he about to get another contract. So Mitchell Robinson gonna show off this year. Mark my word. That's why I said for $1.8 million, injuries or not, you keep him. He only $1.8 million.
In the first, Luka Gaza out of Iowa is a good scoring center, and we could get it in a late. That's a good one too, John. Joe, I like that Luka Gaza. I see that name a lot. Traction with the Knicks. If you look at a fan side or different website, they were talking about Luka Gaza. Yeah, that name is coming up a lot. I think he'll be there too for those later rounds. I could see that. And like comment 19 comments said, like we said earlier, like or Nenick or Rob Berman Lopez for us. Yeah, you could get those there, and then Kali Stein. You also got I think there's another center from the Bulls, Theasis. I know I butchered those Middle Eastern names. He's another player who could pass and could shoot from the Bulls. He's a free agent as well. You could see that going forward. You never know. You never know. The centers are going to be there. You just got to find a center that will fit the Thibodeau system and your backup system, because that will come in and do things in the backup role that isn't a prima donna that needs the scoring. They don't need to they don't need to be the main focal point. They know their role. They'll fit their job, and I think you can find them. I think there are a dime a dozen in the NBA, but you just got to find the one that fits your system to become a strength, not a weakness, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, because they are, and I think that's why I think when the Knicks signed Novell Pell, they knew what they were doing. Let me snatch his cat up, because they knew either Mitch or Novell, they wasn't bringing one of them back. They knew that. That's why they did what they did.
Right.
And after the season that Noel had, they kind of knew. They kind of knew that this guy he had a good year. We ain't giving us no discount that he gonna get the money. He should. He lost a $70 million contract one time. $72 million. Noel. I don't know what agent he had at the time, but that was years ago. Was gonna get that boy $72 million, and he turned it down. Thought he wouldn't get more than that. You know what I mean? And that was that, and that was crazy. Jermaine, peace.
What's going on?
Salute, my brother. Man, y'all know what it is. Knicks Real Talk, man. Y'all hit the thumbs up. Bronx Sports, Jedi, Divine. We in here with the chat, the panel. Everybody out there, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We just talking Knicks, man. And we got about another 15, 20 to go. Then we gonna chime off. We got to get on our grind as well. But yeah, man, we got a good scenario guide. But next week, we'll be on Friday and Sunday, and then we got that big Thursday draft night. We're gonna get it popping up in the air. We're gonna get that program going. So y'all stay tuned in. And just get all your people, man. Tell them to come on in and support the show. Run amok with it, man. We just from the fan for the fans. We make the show make the fans. You know what I mean? The fans make the show. Scooby, the show don't make the fans. The fans make the show. Without y'all, there's no Knicks Real Talk. And we appreciate everything y'all cats be doing, coming up here with your thoughts, your ideas. Keep bringing that content in here before we can put it out here on the chat. Place it on the space where our face is at. You know what I mean? You already know what that is. And we can keep it moving, man. But I like where we going. I like what the Knicks got going on out there, BS. I think we're in a good place. And we just waiting to see, man. Next Thursday, not this Thursday coming up. The next one going to be the big draft night. But we'll see what happens between now and then. A deal might get done. You never know. It might just come out of nowhere. And it might get done. And we'll take it from there. But it's going to be interesting what's going on, man. With all the buzz out here. So we try to keep y'all tuned into everything when we can. You know what I mean? And we'll let y'all know as it go. And and all the other streams out there, you're gonna get content down there as well. We all over the place, man. So but first and foremost, Knicks Real Talk, we here, man. We ain't going nowhere. Bronx Sports Jedi, he got the bilingual program tomorrow night, guys. So if feel free to go on Bronx Sports Jedi tomorrow night. He got the bilingual thing going on Monday. Then he'll be back in there Thursday. Had a great UFC show the other day. Great, awesome. So y'all keep supporting, man. Keep supporting, keep subscribing. And represent, man. We here for y'all. Y'all already know what it is, BX. I think I'm gonna keep my ears open, man, to the ground. My ears to the ground, my eyes open, because I know something gonna happen soon. I can't tell you what day, but I think something happen soon, for sure.
Yep. And I got a list of all the free agent centers. You got the guy I was talking about. His name is Daniel Dianis from Chicago. He was only making $4.55 million a year. You got some good centers. If you want to bring there, Dwight Howard will be out there as well. He'll be a free agent center. If you want to bring that veteran in there, to see if he under Tom Thibodeau as a backup center, with a Mitchell Robinson, that's they won't cost you much because he did sign a veteran minimum with Philadelphia. He might, would it take $4 million to grab him to come to the Knicks, or $5 million for a year? You give him a 2-year deal, $10 million. It isn't that bad. He's serviceable. He'll play. You got Whiteside is another free agent center out there. Jared Allen's restricted, so that's why we were talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. They really traded for him, and they really like him. They really want to give him the money and keep him on their team. So I don't see him going anywhere. Chris Webb, no, not Dwight Howard. Okay, I agree with you. Okay, no problem with that one. I can see that too. Boston, yeah, that was a decent that year.
Yeah, Daniel Tice. Yeah, Daniel Tice.
Yeah, yeah. You also got Ed Davis, for former Timberwolves backup. You got Frank Kaminsky currently on Phoenix Suns. He was a free agent. JaVale McGee. He also went to the Team USA. The backup. He made the team as well, so he'd be out there to play. Noel signing with Brooklyn. Maybe do they have the money for it? Because if Dallas gives them more money, I think he'll take the more money. Because if it's ring chasing, I mean, he could just come back to Thibodeau, and then he knows he'll know he's going to get some minutes there. So it'll be interesting too there, Gardner Mitch. It'll be interesting to see if he will go to Brooklyn. That wouldn't surprise me one bit because I think he might be what they need. But knowing the history of the Brooklyn Nets, man, could you see Noel going there and getting injured for like 30 games? Like hopefully not. Hopefully he'll go and play and tear it up. I hate to say it as a Knicks fan, but once a Knick, always a Knick. Once they leave, I hope they go well too. So we'll see on that. We'll see. Camilo, I would take Howard for the cheap. We'll never know. McGee will command some money. He's He's in the championship and he's in the gold medal. But his price may be heavy. I agree with you with that, Chris. We that was an opportunity for us to trade last trading deadline, and they didn't do it to bring in McGee in there. I know we were all hot and heavy for that. And when we saw him go to Denver, we're like, wait a minute, they already got the reigning MVP, and you just bring in another center like that. Like, wow, that's be interesting. Brooklyn's going to try to move DeAndre Jordan. Yeah, they'll probably try to move him, but I hope not to the Knicks.
Yeah, you know what? There's only one center out there, not one center out there that interests me if you're going to sign somebody, and that's Rashad Holmes.
Okay.
Other than Rashad Holmes, $1.8 million. Mitchell Robinson, hear me again, $1.8 million. You know what I mean? $1.8 million. Mitchell Robinson, sign him, keep him for 1 year, and that last one, if he get hurt, it's only $1.8 million. A lot of the other guys get hurt, it's 17, 20 million. It ain't even worth it. You got a guy there who could do what Noel do. He can rim run, he can block shots, he can offense, rebound, put backs, can play defense on the perimeter. I wouldn't want none of them cats when I got somebody sitting there who could do what he do for $108 million.
You wouldn't want Boban to come in here and play center?
Depending on how much. Depending on how much.
No, not the only way I'll say the Knicks side Boban if I'm guaranteed that his buddy Luka Doncic is coming with him.
Hey, if Boban say I take a vet minimum for 100, Mitchell Robinson numbers. Come on in, that's 6 fouls.
To Joel Embiid.
Yeah, right. Joel Embiid number. Yeah, I do think I like the Rothschild whole thing, but I don't know. But that's Mitchell Robinson though. You know what I mean? Yeah, I agree with you.
Just in case you bring Holmes, just in case Mitchell Robinson, if you got to move him in the middle. And let's say Holmes does play well and Robinson does play well too, but the Knicks don't want to invest in the center that much. You can move him in February trade deadline and bring him in here to either one or the other and bring in there and bring someone in there that could, 6 million. You trade him for one of these inspiring contracts, with a pick or whatever the case. Let's say Chicago's unhappy. They having a horrible season. They're unhappy, and Zach LaVine wants out. He says, I ain't signing back here. You go ahead and now you make a move. I mean, as much as we like him, Mitch Robinson, but you see, we'll bring in Zach LaVine. And then what about Montel Harrell for the Lakers? He's disgruntled. Yeah, that's a good. He's a good pick. That was a mistake for him leaving the Clippers, in my opinion, to go to LA. But yeah, you could see that could happen too. But let's say Harrell, is it going to be something that? Is this something that the Lakers want from the Knicks to give them for Harrell? Can we be? Do we, as a trade partner, does it work? Mitchell is going to be part of a star trade package unless we come off quickly in OB, which is highly doubt we move. Yeah, yeah, I can see that too. I always said Mitchell's going to be part of a deal, because of his salary. Because of the salary, how much he commands, and who knows that. Drummond was exposed in L.A., but we're good with Mitchell. Yeah, I don't want him. Andre Drummond was, he could stay in Los Angeles. It
Yeah,
was nice.
he,
No,
yeah,
okay,
I'm not big on drumming like I used to be years ago.
no.
We got it. Like she said, she's right. He got exposed, and he was like, "Yo, he couldn't do nothing." So, I was like, "That is crazy. That's a lot of money." But that's what I think, man. I think we're gonna stay. We're gonna maintain flexibility. We're not gonna be giving money to people just to be giving it to them. But I do like 19 concert earlier. Olenek. I like what you said, Olenek. I think that's a nice deal. He can make a difference. But other than that, they out there. But
Okay, so Jed, I think because of his salary, we keep Mitchell. You can't be. No, you can't. I don't want. I don't want Mitchell Robinson. Chris, I do not want Mitchell Robinson out of this team. I want Mitchell Robinson to stay with the Knicks. I want him to even actually get a second contract with the Knicks. I don't want to lose him for nothing or move him, but it's a business because he's going to be the sexy pick if you want to bring in a star player like a Levine or a Nels kind of caliber, because he's going to be one of the focal points because of the money and the potential talent that for that
the
money that
general,
you get on that. That's why he's, I don't want, no way in hell I want to get rid of him. But we'll see on that. It says here the real center I want is for this team is Joanna Valanciunas
I
from the
like
Grizzlies.
Valanciunas too.
Valanciunas was a pest when he played him in both those games. A good, solid center. Good all around. That's a really good player there. Definitely. Serge Ibaka, but I think he's going back to Cleveland. I think Serge Ibaka is finished. To be honest with you, Camilo. I don't think he has too much left on his tank. But we're only bringing him as a backup center, so he might fit if he comes in as a backup center. You never know. At the Garden, they're not giving up on him. No, I don't think so either. I don't think they're giving up on him either. I don't think they love Mitchell Robinson. I think they like Mitchell Robinson. They put so much effort in there because you found him in the second round, the way you found him, and you developed him, and then you're just gonna say, let him go out the door like that after all that time and effort and developing in that player. I don't see that either, man. That's why it's hard to see that from them going.
Yeah. It's tough, man. You know what? Mitchell Robinson is rookie year, man.
Ibaka, I'm good. His back is gone. Yeah, I think so too.
Yep. Yeah, he was impressive. I mean, Mitchell Robinson, like I said, sometime you catch a bad break, but think about that game before he got injured. Right before the first injury, 10 and 16 in the first half. You know what I mean? In the first half, 10 and 16. He was about to go for a 20-30 rebound game that game. He was killing Cleveland that day. I was like, yo. And he stepped on my man's foot. I think it was Cleveland. And he got hurt. So he just was coming to his own. So that's what makes me think about the Knicks going to definitely give that cat another chance to show what he could do. I believe that. I don't think that's the last of Mitchell Robinson by no means. Because I think he got something left in here to prove. When he had a contract year coming up after this year, Mitchell Robinson want to be able to take care of that little young baby that he had. You know what I mean? He want to take care of the family. He's gonna be hungry. Mitchell Robinson gonna be hungry, bro. Because he like, listen, I just had a young daughter. I only been in the NBA 3 or 4 years, making $1.5 million. Now I'm making 1.8. He's a talent. The man he's unique. A 7-footer could do what he do, and he get back to himself. I think he'd be good, man. He really did. Chris, I agree. He had some great games, man. And I think that's going to pan out well for him.
And he gained weight, Chris. He's now at 272 pounds of muscle. He keeps posting videos and he looks chiseled, man. He's no longer that slinky, thin guy. Remember, now he's getting into his NBA body. He's 23 years old, 22 to 23 years old, and now this is the time of year when these players start getting into the NBA body. They start losing the teenage young kids, and they become now young men to young adults. And I think he's gonna fill up his body. I think he's filling up well, and I think big things for Mitchell Robinson 2022 coming up, man. He's gonna have some big season, man. And he might need a short jumper, but Mitchell Robinson has been working. Videos is videos. Of course, we don't know that when nobody's around you, you can hit anything. But he's showing the videos that he could shoot some threes, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Even though it's in the gym, but he just showing you that he could do it. So, and in high school, he shot 29% in high school. It ain't like he never did it. It's just that they used him in a different situation. But he's young, man. That's why I don't want to give up on Mitchell Robinson BS, because he's young. Young. He is young, bro. I mean, this cat when he just was walking to New Orleans, man, that coach put him in the gym. He haven't even basically learned the game almost to the fullest. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's gonna be crazy. Sky's the limit for that guy if he keep it going. Joe Madden said if he's hungry, he needs to be more effective on offense. It's important we get him a point guard that can get him easy. But absolutely, Joe Madden, that's all they missing. I think that's what the Knicks was missing last year. Period. A point guard who can get these guys that ball in the right spot where they can get their buckets. You know, and I think if they can pull that off, and I think we will, because I think and then he said, "Yep, absolutely. It does."
Free agent starts August 3rd. August 3rd, free agency for the NBA. And you know that they come. You know when once it starts, all that plethora of signings and agreements goes quick with the NBA. That's what I like about the free agency of the NBA. After the draft, then you're gonna start all the rumors. And the second. I thought it was the third, but I could be wrong. One of those 2 days, second or the third, the plethora of signings go. It goes quick, and it's right at midnight, right on the clock start midnight. That you got people knocking on agent stores and supposedly, but we saw last year a couple of deals were done premature hours before, like the a few years ago when the Brooklyn deal was done. It was done a little premature before the deadline, but we'll see how that goes. And if the Knicks can't get Lonzo, he will help. We will get him. Absolutely. That's why we were big on getting Lonzo on the trading deadline. We wanted him here for that reason, for Mitchell Robinson. And we were seeing the struggles of an Obi Toppin, and we're like, they need him to unlock Obi Toppin for the lob and get him his confidence building, easy plays for him, and use his athleticism right now, his raw talent, his raw athleticism to make him going, and then work on his game in the offseason. That's why we were big on getting Alonzo Ball this year, and also we wanted his rights, his free agent restriction rights. But it didn't work out, but we'll see how that goes. Joe Madden wrote a good one there. Lonzo Booknight, RJ Mitchell. Let's go. Hey, whoo, that's nice, young, athletic, running and gunning.
Yeah. Other than the only other major thing to keep an eye on to me is Oklahoma City SGA. You know what I mean? That's about the as far as a lineup. Excuse me, Camilio. Yeah, SGA is the other top point guard dog to me if you're going to still with the timeline, but you had to give up something for him, though.
And Tibbs don't start rookies. Well, he won't start rookies, but they're young. This is the only rookie is Booknight, and if Booknight is brought up here with such a pedigree, I could see that. I could see them bringing in maybe instead of Booknight will take the Emmanuel Quickly role this upcoming season, and you have Quickly in the starting lineup, and you move Booknight, and vice versa on that. But you're still playing them because the point is you'll end up seeing on some point in the game those 5 on the floor. Ooh, that's dynamic. That's dynamic. Good one there, Jonah. Good one there.
So far, what Dopeman said, the only way we get SGA is giving up RJ, and yeah, I can see that.
I got Gardner Knicks Road. I want Leonard on this team, but for the right price, though. Yep, we opened the segment with Damian Lillard, and it's just like, personally, we're not too warm on it because, who are you going to put him around him, and Lillard, RJ, and Brandel, but I think Portland wants RJ really bad, Garden. I think they want him so bad. He's got to be I think he's the starting point on that trade. So that's the only thing that worries us as Knicks fans. Don't want to see RJ go into Lillard. If you could somehow get Damian Lillard without trading down like that, man, that's very entertaining. But I don't know. Damian's too pricey. It's gonna be a little pricey. I agree with Chris. He's still gonna command 40 to 50 million by the end of that contract. And you're gonna have Randall at that age. At that timeline as well, consuming that. And then if let's say Portland takes away our trading assets, trading picks, we don't really got a plethora of young talents that we could keep at a cheap to continue sustaining a team. So it's kind of like it could be a revolving door of a mess if we do that kind of move.
Real quick. Oh, you keep going on. Hey, 19. I was about to throw that up there. The only thing I'm going to replace in that lineup, I think this was going to happen. It could happen. Sexton at the point. This year they start quickly at the 2, move RJ to the 3. Randall and Mitchell Robinson.
I like that too.
Yeah, that same lineup you got there, comment. I think they might, if they don't get Lowry, I think they take quickly and let him start at the 2 this year, and move RJ to the 3, and Randall and Mitchell Robinson. That would be my, I would say, the least. If you had to take any lineup right now, what's possible? I think that's the more of a possibility than a lot of them to me is if Emmanuel quickly stays. If the Knicks keep these guys and they make that good maturation step, then you might see quickly in the starting lineup at the 2. Especially if we make him, if he improved, which too bad he had to set out for the COVID protocol with the U.S. select team because he was playing against all them good dudes getting better. You know what I mean? So that would be interesting.
We got a lot of good stuff. I got a lot of good stuff on the chat, Devon.
Yes, sir. They are fire.
What we don't want to repeat the Carmelo Anthony deal.
No,
but it's a different circumstance. But I understand what you mean there. It says, why do we care what his contract is as long as we're winning and possible getting a chip? Curry and LeBron getting that too. Damian Lillard, I like Damian Lillard if he was 2 more years, if he was going to 29 to 30, he's 31 going to 32, then you could think about it because that high elite level of playing point guard, especially in the Eastern Conference with the younger athletic point guards, it's gonna be a little bit of an issue. He's still an elite talent, up top of the elite point guards in the league. But man, I just don't want to gut up roster. I want to be able to have a good nucleus around him to go and compete and go forward. I mean, I wish he was a freaking free agent that we could just throw the bag at him and not trade a bunch of players. That would be, then I'll say, you know what, he's number 1 free agent, the darling. Give him what he needs. But to get rid of our talent is hard, man. It says if the Knicks miss out on Lonzo, Dame, or Sexton, who do you see them targeting? That's an interesting question, Camilo. That's an interesting question on what kind of other level point guard can you see them getting. It'd be really interesting to see where would it go. My darling there out of all of them, the next one, if you don't get either one of them, is Spencer Dinwiddie. That's my guy. That's my favorite guy that I would like to see the Knicks go after. Dinwiddie, if they don't get neither one of these people.
Yeah. I'm on. I think. Yeah, I agree. Chris Wood, Lowry is that's definitely. If we trying to go for a little bit more playoff run, Lowry makes sense. But I think what's going to happen to me, and I think what makes sense, bring back Derrick Rose. That's it. All these point guards we talking about, bring back Derrick Rose. Run Valdoza. And quickly you can play off. You can play 1 and 2. He's interchangeable. You know what I mean? But I think they bring Derrick Rose back. I think if you ask me what free agent coming in here, I think they trade for Sexton. I think they make that happen. I think they trade for Sexton. They re-sign Derrick Rose. Now you got a veteran back there behind Sexton who can get you 18, 16, 14 a game. And him, Valdoza, and I mean, I just think that that's pretty sexy move right there. Anyone worried about Sexton's defense? Salute Killer Cross. You see my brother.
Salute. Welcome to the program.
Worried about Sexton's defense? Well, I can tell you he tries hard. I'm not under Tom Thibodeau. I'm not. To me, I think Thibodeau will work that out because he is aggressive. I think he'll learn the ins and outs from somebody like Fib because I like his bulldog mentality, his energy. Killer crossover. I think Killer Cross. I meant to say. I think we can get that out of him. I don't think that'd be a problem.
Yeah, with that, I think in practice they'll work with him to get him better, and he puts players in better position to succeed on defense. Assignments, and that's why it's important for them to bring back a Derrick Rose to help those kind of point guard learn Thibodeau's defensive system and play there. I think that's why Emmanuel quickly got a lot of playing time because he went under Derrick Rose's wing and helped him out and moved and allowed to be in the right position to succeed and it showed. It showed on Quickly's improvement and because of a Derrick Rose experience. This is what Thibodeau. This is what the verbiage and what the Thibodeau wants on what he means this on the playbook. And you see them thrive. And I think they could do the same thing with a Sexton. I think he's a young mind that will really and Will wants to get better. And I think he'll put the effort in to get better defensively to the coach's standards.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. So it's that point guard thing will be interesting. But and let's look at a guy from a numbers perspective. Colin Sexton making $6 million for another year. Then that next year, I think he's eligible for the extension. But even for this year, you trade for him because now you're not really gaining no money this year because Knox money is about the same as his, and Obi, whoever you're gonna throw there with the picks. So that cashes out money-wise. We didn't lose no money in the Colin Sexton deal this year because he's only making 6.9 between Knox, whoever you're gonna trade with Knox for the first round draft picks. So you still haven't ate into your salary cap. Now you just picked up a 20-point scorer game point guard. The field of one. Let's say, okay, now you need to eat into your cap. So let's say you give Derrick Rose 2 years, $20 million. You still got $40 million. $40 million, unless when you got to sign this and that, whatever. But now you still got $40 million per se. You still can go get a 3. You still got $40 million. You picked up Sexton on a $6 million deal for 1 year. And man, is a you free up near $65 million in cap. You then even if you now listen, you can sign Sexton and Randall because you can go over the cap to sign one of them, I guess, or two. I'm not sure, but think about it. If you do sign Sexton, then you still good. But let's say you know what, we don't go that route, and at the trading deadline, you move them. You know what I mean? So it's just so unbelievable what we could do with this thing, man. So I like Sexton definitely because of the money, the talent. The age, the bulldog, he could play in Madison Square Garden. He a dog. He's a dog. He a bulldog. He got that I go get it mentality, and a lot of cats can't do that in the bright lights of Madison Square Garden. If you can't play gritty in New York City, you don't belong in the Garden. I think Colin Sexton would tear them bright lights up because he's that type of dude. He got that it factor. He got a swag to him. He could play fishing. He's shooting good. He can get on a break good. It's just not too much. He improving every year. So for $6 million, for sure, to get him, and it makes sense to me. Right, there you go. We can flip Randall and Sexton for big names at the deadline. Exactly, it's exactly right. So it's a good thing to have. I love to see how that. I love to see how that paid out. New York City not made for the weak. I feel like it is, Chris. Everybody can't play in the Garden. Everybody cannot play in them bright lights of Madison Square Garden. We've seen that over and over again. Them cats can't handle it, man. You got to have a certain spine. New York is a gritty city. That's why they got a gritty coach. That's why World Wide West them cats is hustlers. They gritty. They about it, man. And you ain't got that certain mentality. I don't know how you deal with the situation there, the back tabloid, us. The podcasters, you know what I mean? The fans, the media. Soon as somebody say you stink, are you gonna run and hide in the holes? And nah, man, I ain't I'm gonna brush that off my shoulder, man. I just had a bad game, or you gonna let it affect you. And so when they in the guard come out booing you, the Knicks fan in the guard, when they want to get rowdy, they can get rowdy and start booing you. Can you handle that situation? That's why it's not everybody can come here, and that's why we got to be selective on who we bring here. No matter how good you are, you're only good in certain situations. And I don't know, man. Playing in New York is a different animal. So we have to see.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Sexton will fit away a dog and young bull. I also Camilo you put Sexton with Thibodeau, he'll be the best point guard we had in probably 20 years.
I agree.
Yeah, you know what? It could be. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, that could be a positive point guard experiment. Could we see that? That's why that's why they guarantee they're collaborating. They're speaking behind the scenes with this and seeing what that is, if they're interested in it or not. And maybe the trade is done and we nothing could be said. They want to wait until draft night. They want to wait to make it official on draft night. The movement so like that. No other teams could get opportunity to try to move up or oh man, I see Cleveland picked up these. I think they're going to want to do this way. Reaction or panic, or tip their hand with other teams. The Knicks have got Sexton and now they're improving and they were 4th seed and they're improving now. Pressure on other teams to try to make a move and react to it. So maybe that's why it's quiet. Maybe it's a done deal. And agents might have leaked out that they're thinking and who's heavy in favorite, and then nothing's gonna say done. Nothing's gonna say what until draft night or draft day when it happens. So who knows? It could be, we could be breaking this down on draft night, instant reaction that it's been, it's come
Yeah,
to
but that's,
fruition.
I agree with you, BS. And know what's interesting about that too? Like I said, you picked up a 24 point guard per game score. You didn't touch a cap, and he good enough. If you don't do nothing, let's say you don't do nothing, you bring a Sexton for, you upgraded that team from last year even more, and you didn't even spend no money.
Right.
And you go into 2022 with whether Randall, Sexton there, or the big names signing trades, but you come into the season with Colin Sexton at the point guard. You did not spend no money to get him because you had enough capital for salary matching from a salary cap perspective, and you gave up some picks. 24 points a game, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, or 3 assists, 4 rebounds, and you didn't spend no money. And
I like that.
Yeah, and if you do bring in Kelly Oubre, which I'm big on, Lonzo 23, Oubre 25, Sexton 22. Oh my, I agree with you, 19. So you know what? That's a young team, a hungry team, like you said. You don't want to get too old there. You want the older guy to come off the bench. You know what I mean? Right. But you want that young team to be fast, athletic, shooters. Gritty, hard. And I think Oubre and Sexton do it for me because I think both of them cats ain't scared of nothing. And they're young. That's what I like about them. So we'll see, man. We're in a good situation, y'all fellas and ladies. And we just got to keep it moving and hope this thing transform to what we want it to. But listen, it's been a pleasure. We got to get up out of here, man. No doubt. Y'all like and subscribe, man. Hit that thumbs up for a brother. Subscribe to the channel, to your friends and everybody, man. We in here, man. We ain't going nowhere. And we'll see y'all cats later on in the week. Just check for the notification. Usually come on Friday night. But BX will be on Thursday. Me and him will be on his show Thursday. Y'all chime in, man. Y'all come over to Bronx Sports Jedi. Come on up in there, man. And we talk Knicks, Mets, Yankees, whatever the case may be. We in it. But listen, thanks for everybody chiming in tonight, man. Camilio, you know how we do, my brother. 19 Con, the whole chat. Chris, thank you. Queens Court, y'all check them out Friday. They in the building. Baba Booey. We got everybody. Killer Cross, thanks for chiming in. Killer Cross, hit that subscribe button, my brother. Garden Knicks Podcast, hit that subscribe button, man. Make us your family and everybody, man. And y'all go down and hit Bronx Port Jedi's like button, subscribe button as well. Thank y'all all. Joe Madden, you already know what it is, man. Listen, man, hit that subscribe button. Come on in and show some love, where we can build this platform up because we're gonna get it popping in season 2. We like Emmanuel Quickly and this is our first year of maturation. We got to go through it. We got to get it, but we're gonna keep it moving, man. And y'all know what it is, man. Knicks, we see y'all Friday night. Bronx Sports Jedi Thursday night. Bronx Jedi on tomorrow night with the bilingual edition of Sports Talk. If you want to get on there with him, man, on Monday night, talking bilingual and English, chopping it up with all the Beniquas and everything, so y'all get it popping. And BX, man, give me some thoughts, my brother. You know how we do.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys. Each and every one of you guys. So, yeah, tomorrow we'll be on bilingual program. We'll break it down. I mostly do all the Spanish talking, and my partner Hector talks all the English. Just come on in there. Just give me a thumbs up. A little bit of support, just a quick thumbs up or hello in the chat. You don't have to stick around. A quick support, I appreciate it. I could, we're building a platform. We just do this because we love it, and we love you guys, our families, and we appreciate you guys coming here, giving us your time on this Sunday evening, man. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love the chat, the way we engage in the chat. It's good. All these different scenarios, trade. It's wonderful to see the Knicks have so many different avenues of which they could attack and go by. There's so many yellow brick roads, and we want to find out which yellow brick roads the Knicks will go and be part of the journey. And I'm glad that you guys chose us to be part of it with you, and we appreciate being with you guys. So, keep supporting us. Robert Paul, thank you. You guys, Charman, Chris, Joe Madden, everyone in the chat, Robert Bowie from Tim Smith, thank you guys so much. I can't wait to see you guys, in the next program. And you know what? You guys start the Monday, a wonderful Monday, man, a beautiful week. It's going to be a wonderful, blissful week for everybody. And, man, I'll talk to you guys later, man. Like always, man. Salute and many blessings, man.
Yeah. Salute to the chat. That's where it's at right there. You already know, man. The chat is where it's at. That my people's up in there, man. Y'all keep doing it, man. Keep chiming in and just keep bringing us your thoughts, man. Because, we wise mind, but y'all wise mind as well. It's just that we just got the platform, but y'all come on in here, man. Keep bringing this content to the show. Keep bringing your opinion, your thoughts to the show. We love y'all for that, because this is where it's at, man. Knicks Real Talk. We're going to keep it popping up here always for you guys. Salute to everybody on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, on Twitch, wherever you're streaming in from. Thanks for chiming in. Y'all already know, man. Y'all be safe out there. Get ready for your grind Monday. We'll be back on during the season, guys, with the morning show. We still be doing the morning show in the morning, but right now on the off season, we just kind of keep it living to the night show. It's been a pleasure, man. As always in the chat. Thank you so much today. It was on fire. Y'all keep that great energy, and we're gonna keep it moving, man. Knicks Real Talk, the night show. We love y'all guys, man. And listen, man, we're gonna, give a special prayers up to my man Biz. You already know what it is, but Biz, you already know what it is right there, man. Salute to Biz Markie. Rest in power, rest in peace. Yo, Knicks Real Talk, man, the night show, man. We about to get out of here. Peace. I got a new promo coming out, me and BX, in another couple of weeks. Y'all look for it, man. All you guys up in the chat, your names is up in there. I'm spitting fire on the verses. The bars is crazy. I got your names up in there, man, and it's interesting, man. So we do it for y'all. So y'all look out for the new promo coming out. It's gonna be on and popping, and it's gonna be fun, man. So y'all get with it. Until then, and man, we're gonna do this, man. Knicks Real Talk, the night show, Bronx Jedi Sports Talk. We in here, Divine. Peace to the chat. Peace. Yo, salute. Knicks Real Talk, man. Divine. About to get out my grind, hop in the Black Knight. About to make it happen, man. Knicks Real Talk. We all over the place. About to get it popping. Divine, Bronx Jedi 7-6. The night show, the morning show. Knicks Real Talk, man. About to get in the Black Knight.
Knicks Real Talk, let's get it popping. We hopping like topping, and the Jumpman brand ain't no stopping. Divine and Bronx out our 7-6. We lit from Facebook, Twitter to Twitch, and all that shit. We number uno, the promo that blow like nitro. Now the streets are buzzing, so we flow with the night show. So spike them lights below. That thumbs up, run them up, and you double up, cause it's Knicks Real Talk, and we on the come up. We'll salute to the cats in the chat. That's where it's at. Now you place the chats, when I pace that under space where our faces at. We lace these cats with news, notes, stats. Game recap, no hyperbole, we straight facts. In fact, we say it lit like a can or two. Hop the handle on the banner, we violent, so subscribe to the channel. Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk.